Do I have an MDT up here?
Yes, you do. Welcome to the courtroom and technology.
Could I get
Siemanko.
just a 30 second
Twoją czakrę podstawy.
sidebar?
W tym momencie być może odczuwasz delikatne ciepło.
Unfortunately.
Charles.
W ogóle twojego splotu słonecznego. Oczyszczam w tym momencie czakrę podstawy. Mamy to.
Shit. Tyle ludzi.
Still sort of preparing, and I'm giving you ample time.
Dobra, jedziemy za mną,
Bear in mind, it's a drug trafficking case with a lot of exhibits, and we got fucking issues with the photographic evidence. So if y'all can figure that out in terms of, getting each other what you need, feel free to communicate amongst yourselves and get that situated before we get started. I just want to have that dealt with before we begin instead of, oh, I don't have this photo, I can't look at that.
Yeah, I can talk on. I mean, basically, best way I can explain it is that all the evidence stuff, Xavier and Acker, you guys, when you open the report, you just got to when you open the report on the thing, you should be able to just,
Yeah, we're
click on the
able to
link and then.
access. We're
Okay,
able to
yeah.
access all of the articles of evidence that we believe are relevant, Your Honor. We reviewed that before we came into the courtroom today.
O fuck, kurwa, teraz się zacząłem stresować. Fuck, myślałem, że to będzie chill out.
You know what's too bad is in a couple of hours we're all gonna be able to share everything in here.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I'll be able to just give them the report and
Not
stuff.
for a couple of hours, of course. We got
yeah,
a
not for 2 hours.
2 hours before.
No, that's unfortunate.
The case that would love to have it.
Right, but as long as you got that sorted out, that's fine.
Yeah, when we were reviewing the case, discussing evidence, all that fun stuff, we ran through the report, and we believe we have all the access to all the articles we need, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, say less. So just yeah, go ahead and get ready. Let me know when you're ready to begin.
I believe defense is ready, Your Honor.
right.
Oliver, I'll let you.
Oh yeah, we're good to go.
Yeah.
Can I go to the toilet, like, for a while? Because I haven't.
For a while.
Yes. How long do you need?
Come on, Charles. We just started here, man. We're 10 minutes late already.
He's got nervous poops, man. Let him be.
Yes, please. Just 5 minutes, Your Honor.
Courtroom's a pretty intimidating place.
Go use the elevator if possible to do number 2.
Should I use the elevator to?
Yeah, we have elevator.
Yeah, just go ahead
Okay.
and follow me.
Okay.
We don't have a bathroom.
Oh, I don't know who he is.
Czemu oni tu stoją? Czemu oni tu stoją? Czemu oni przyszli na sprawę ESPRESSO? Skąd oni wiedzieli w ogóle, że ta rozprawa jest?
This is the elevator.
Okay,
Just-
thank you. Yeah.
Yep.
Kurwa mać, naprawdę? Dobra, lecimy, siema.
I'm polishing it. There you go, man. You got to look good.
Co jest? Widzę, że nie tylko ja. Dobra, jest tytuł Espresso Last Dance? Jest to Espresso Last Dance. Słuchajcie, wyłączyłem powiadomienia, dlatego że jak gadałem z sędzią, to w ogóle nic go nie słyszałem, nie? W ogóle nic go nie słyszałem. Raz, dwa, trzy. Dziwne, po co tam Salim był? Zrobisz wprowadzenie OCB? Tak, zrobię. Tylko muszę tutaj... Ja dopiero co się odpaliłem kompa. Niestety nie mogłem wcześniej. Zaraz wam zrobię wprowadzenie, zaraz pogadamy. Tylko najpierw ta rozprawa i muszę ogarnąć audio. Bo mam jakiś problem jest z dźwiękiem. Okej. Dobra, nie będzie muzyczki ani nic. Na razie, na ten moment. Na ten moment nie będzie muzyczki ani nic. Biorę drugą klawiaturę do roleplayowania. Dobra. Rozprawa, espresso, last dance. Dobra, gotowy. Lecimy. Kurwa, ja zaraz chyba padnę z odwodnienia. No dobra. Może dobrze. Siema Spike.
Uncle, how are you?
No.
And nothing on record related
That's
to
not even
drugs.
the only
Perfect.
goal.
Hey guys, so you saw the evidence? I'm fucked, or we can win this?
You're in good spots.
You're in a good spot.
Okay, all right.
Just watch the master at work over here, okay?
Okay, you will work, so I don't need to answer any
he's gonna
questions.
He's gonna kill it.
You
I'm Jonathan Acker. We're not even calling you to the stand.
I am his uncle.
okay? So I'll be only watching, yes?
Yep.
Correct.
Have a seat and enjoy the show.
All right. Okay, if you will be losing, please say that I'm a moment with the mansion and I just shit myself, okay?
So the first thing that'll happen is an arraignment. He'll ask you how you're pleading to the different charges at hand. Give it a second. I will tell you which charges you're pleading guilty to and which charges you're not pleading guilty to. Okay.
Okay.
I'll just say guilty or not guilty and just repeat what I say. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yes, you are professionalists. You are professionalists.
Okay. Well, we'll get this done.
But why you think about making a switch with them in terms of taking me to prison, huh?
We get a gift card.
Um,
Wait until we get
I can't recommend that.
Okay.
Don't worry. He wants Amazon.
No.
If you want to take a seat, I'll be
When we
standing.
get the
Okay.
Xbox and PlayStation gift card, then we can make it.
Kurwa, naprawdę są przekotami ci ludzie.
What, did you add up the
we'll have to
total?
buy
What
a
it would
gift
be?
card.
Hey, I'm just curious.
Yeah, and we will do it.
Then that's
Has
Yes,
have you
wait,
two
wait,
gone
wait.
against each
So we
other
have
yet
gift
before?
Gift cards and candy.
Who, Your Honor?
MTD?
Xavier and Oliver Hall.
Number of times, Your Honor.
Number of times. Okay.
With
Your Honor, if it pleases the court, I'll be taking point on this case as a paralegal for Mr. Xavier Monroe.
All right. Are you asking my permission or are you just...
I suppose I would
me.
be because technically the paralegal program does not exist, and practicing law without a license is still a criminal charge. So if you would take that law literally, me trying to present myself as a lead counselor would violate that law.
lecimy!
And therefore, I'm asking you. For
Dobry
your
jest ten
permission.
gość.
Yes.
Gadałem z nim chwilę na ofie.
Okay. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's fine with me.
Witam serdecznie, cześć, dobry wieczór wszystkim.
Your Honor.
Kurwa, Monroe i ten drugi... No zresztą będziemy
And,
chwalić ich po
with that
rozprawie, jak
being the
wygram.
case, is everybody ready to proceed? Everybody's used the bathroom.
Believe the fence is ready, Your Honor.
Yep, state's good to go.
All right. Wonderful. Let's see. Oof. Not gonna have a bailiff today. All right, that's fine. I don't have too many people to swear in anyway. All right.
Whoa.
Bit of a late start here, but we are going to be
Do me a favor,
calling
Charles.
into
Stand up.
session
When
the
he asks you
people
regarding
versus
charges,
Charles
you're walking to the middle
Espresso,
and you're going to answer.
the underlying indictment
I don't think
here.
we'll advise
To
you.
make this docket case being drug trafficking, I will read off the full list of charges. The defendant is accused of 1 count of drug trafficking, 1 count of felony possession with intent to distribute, 1 count felony possession of marijuana, 1 count reckless evading, 1 count resisting arrest, 1 count possession of drug paraphernalia. Let me just double check and make sure there's no amendments to those charges.
Sir, do you have something to drink or...
Appears not. So those would be the full charges.
Kurwa, nie wiem czemu piłem.
To entering of plea at this time. Please rise, Mr. Espresso.
Stand up. There you go.
All right. The defendant, Charles Espresso, on the count of 1 count possession of drug paraphernalia. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Guilty! Guilty, Your Honor!
Yes, definitely remember to speak up. On the count of 1 count resisting arrest, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Guilty, Your Honor.
1 count reckless evading, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Guilty, Your Honor.
On the charge of 1 count of felony possession of marijuana, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
And 1 count of felony possession with intent to distribute, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Guilty.
And on the single count of drug trafficking, sir, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
Not guilty, Your Honor. Not guilty.
All right, the defendant's pleas are so entered. I'm going to go ahead and proceed
Maybe the stress.
with opening arguments, beginning with the prosecution. Mr. Hall, you may deliver your opening remarks.
Thank you, Honor. I'll keep this try and keep this nice and short. This all started on the 18th of February,
Może
in which
usiądę
the
tam.
defendant was found in a frankly ludicrous amount of marijuana and the necessary components to manufacture, cultivate, and distribute marijuana. Now, he was found leaving the scene of multiple drug sale calls by law enforcement, after which point he was pursued. He was driving a stolen vehicle, and he eventually was apprehended by law enforcement, at which point they found numerous amounts of weed seeds on his person, 25 bags of marijuana in the
Numeros?
vehicle that he was driving. And after securing consent, law enforcement performed a search of his vehicles and his apartment. And when they conducted that search in his apartment, they found even more enormous quantity of marijuana, both packaged, dried,
Yes.
and
Am I
in
crazy?
large
Or
quantity
no?
of
I thought it
bricks,
was one plant.
Tam jest Dean.
large quantities of cash, and
It was
even
1 plant, 2 seeds.
a whole setup,
That's
a rack,
numerous.
fans, and other
It's
drying
just an opening
equipment
statement. It's
that
fine.
was
No, I know,
used
I'm
for the
just- I was just
purpose of
confused.
drying marijuana. Now, in his tow truck, they found a marijuana plant and even more bags of marijuana. The evidence will show that the defendant engaged in the manufacture and cultivation of marijuana, and the evidence that we will present at trial today will prove his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Thank you.
All right, we'll proceed over to the defense. Mr. Acker, are you prepared?
Okej,
Yes, Your Honor.
dobra, zacznijmy jego speecha.
Please proceed.
Your Honor, people of the court, the prosecution would allege that the defendant is a high-profile drug kingpin worthy of the drug trafficking charge that manufactures and distributes a controlled dangerous substance within the state of San Andreas, despite the fact that they have no previous criminal charges on their record. This claim was levied against a citizen that was not only compliant in the prosecution's investigation in good faith, but this claim is also made by a complete misunderstanding of the state of San Andreas Penal Code as it is written within the letter and spirit of the law. This misunderstanding will come to light today, Your Honor, on your very court floor, in fact. I would imagine that it will come from the prosecution's mouth itself. Without further ado, let us begin.
All right, very well. Okay, prosecution, do you wish to begin by examining evidence or just produce your first witness?
Yeah, we'd like to call Officer Richard Tips to the stand, Your Honor.
Officer Richard Tips,
just so you're
please
aware,
approach the bench
Oliver did
and be
approach me
sworn
before the trial
in.
started. He said
Which
he'd
side
like
do you
to
want me
object
on? The
to
left
scope
side?
if there's
Or
things that you want to
Just
expand
take
on
a
in
seat over
tips,
there.
but he's preferring not to recall tips. Up to you.
Sure.
I don't think you plan on calling anyone.
All right, Officer Tips, do you swear and affirm that the testimony you are about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you, Matt. Period.
Yes.
All right, prosecution, Counselor Hall, it's your witness.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. How you doing today, officer?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I
Now,
don't
were you
remember
working on
this guy.
February 18th?
Yes, I was.
Need to hear the
During that
question,
day,
sorry.
did you respond to any calls from Officer Soria?
Yes, I did.
What was the nature of that call?
It was a fleeing vehicle that was marked for joyriding in the dispatch. It was a red in color
Kurwa, ale
Yosemite
tamtych to nie
that was
rozumiem,
pulled
co siedzą.
over, on Alta Street near the that business center and Group 6 hub.
All right, and what happened once you got there?
Officers attempted to perform a high-risk stop, and then the vehicle fled from us.
All right, and who was driving that vehicle?
Him, Your Honor. Him. It was him.
Just to clarify, are you
Espresso.
pointing to the defendant?
That's right, Charles Espresso.
Oh my, okay. And what did Mr. Espresso do?
Drove around recklessly through the streets of Los Santos. Every alleyway north of the Del Perro Freeway.
Yeah, and fucking what?
My Lord, okay. And were you able to apprehend him?
Yeah, we found him crashed out near the Sisyphus Center north on Baytree Canyon Road, and we're able to apprehend him there.
Jak wszystko wiedzą, kurwa.
So the suspect got out on foot, tried to run into the woods. I believe it was to the east from Baytree Canyon, opposite the Sisyphus Center. And Suarez was able to get him in handcuffs.
All right. And what did you do after he was placed in cuffs?
I cased the vehicle for any contraband.
Did you find any?
Oh, yeah.
What did you find?
25 bags of marijuana in the glove box.
Okay, all
I
right.
had it on me,
And
and I had it on me,
have
so
you
he's lying.
investigated,
That's
investigations
semantical,
into
but I'll
drugs
take care of it.
before?
A long time ago. Yes, I did.
All right. And what's a legal limit to possess marijuana?
Oh, currently there is none.
I gotcha. And just to clarify, did you take any photos of the marijuana you found?
Yes.
All right. If I could have you take a look at the report.
Okay.
And just take a look at the evidence that's attached to that report. Should be labeled vehicle glove box.
Yep, I see it.
Do you recognize that photo?
Yes, I do.
Nie mam tego.
Is that the photo that you took?
Yep.
All right. What's depicted in that photo?
25 bags of marijuana.
All right. And for the uninitiated, based on your work into these drug investigations, is that considered a lot of marijuana?
Objection, Your Honor, lacks foundation. The witness has not been established as an expert in marijuana enforcement.
Rebuttal to that objection?
Yeah, certainly, Your Honor. We've already established that the witness has engaged in previous investigations into drugs and specifically marijuana. So asking him just whether or not this is a lot based on his investigative experience and the law, if this would be considered a lot of marijuana.
All right, unless the defense can point to a marijuana expert besides Winsong that could be more qualified than someone in law enforcement, then I'm gonna overrule that
Aziz
objection.
Sultan. He's been.
Did I get the question one more time?
Heading up all of the marijuana investigations.
Yeah, so based
just
on the
gonna
amount
withdraw
that
it,
you
Samantha,
found,
anyway.
would that be considered a lot of marijuana?
A felonious amount, even. Yes.
It's kind of yeah, fine. It's a fine question. Who cares?
What could that amount indicate?
Objection vague. It's not a pointed question.
Sustained.
Dobry jest.
Sustained.
Dobry
Yeah,
jest.
try again.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Dobry.
Your Honor? What happened after you
Kurwa, ale
discovered
mamy
that marijuana?
ekipę. Sam to bym się nie obronił pewnie
I
tutaj
brought
po
it to the
angielsku.
attention of,
Ale może?
Suarez, who was leading the scene.
Ja to bym pobił tych dwóch gnoi.
And did the defendant get questioned about that marijuana?
Are you talking about on scene?
Yeah.
Czy mi spada HP, kochani?
I'm not sure. I had to leave shortly afterwards because there was an officer down call.
And did you deal with this case after that call?
Yes.
In what way?
I was a scene control unit for the raid that happened.
And to clarify, did you enter the property?
Yes, I did.
And what did you see once you entered the property?
I can't say specifics because my memory is a little hazy here. I remember seeing fans, barrels, and the room was very red to my, if I'm remembering correctly.
No był czerwony, był.
Like everything, the wallpaper, the floor, the ceiling.
Thank you so much. That's all the questions I have for you, Officer Tip.
Thank you.
All right, wonderful. Just want to confirm Suarez doesn't have any questions before we turn it over.
I mean, no, I think you did fine. You good? You did good.
Yeah, no further questions from the state, Your Honor.
Excellent. All right, defense. Cross-examination is yours.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer, if you don't mind me asking, is marijuana a controlled and dangerous substance?
Yes.
What makes it controlled and dangerous?
Dobry jest, patrz.
The fact that if you smoke it and you're driving a vehicle, it makes you dangerous.
Okay. If you were to assess the penal code and look for items that are titled as controlled and dangerous, what would you find?
Thank the Lord.
Well, I'd have to refresh my memory on that one.
Your Honor, could the witness refresh his memory on the penal code?
Well, anyone in this room has access to a tablet in the penal code, so absolutely.
Okay. If you look for charges specifically concerning controlled and dangerous substances, what do you find?
Dobry jest. Tak, podróbacz Ligo siedzi. Koniowaty, dziękuję serdecznie. Biniu, dziękuję bardzo za suba. Siemaneczko, Saku, plaster miodu, dziękuję. Kesonot. Piwek.
So, no charges related to marijuana in that title?
Your Honor, objection. The penal code, the title of the charge does not indicate whether something is controlled and dangerous, as the defense is trying to make it out the same.
Oliver Hall, could you help with the objection?
Certainly, Your Honor. We're going to object to relevance on this one. Whether or not I mean, this case has nothing to do with marijuana or anything that is statutorily defined as a controlled dangerous substance.
Your objection is that this case has nothing to do with marijuana?
No, Your Honor. We're objecting to relevance on questioning the witness about unrelated charges.
Yeah, Your Honor.
Yeah, go ahead.
The drug trafficking charge, which is specifically the one that is in question here, specifically calls for the assessment of and handling of a controlled and dangerous substance. But what the question is meaning to establish is what is a controlled and dangerous substance within the penal code? Can we find relevance to that title? What specifically matches that title within the penal code? In lack of a proper drug scheduling structure, the only thing that we can rely on is the penal code. I think finding out what is and is not a controlled dangerous substance is incredibly relevant.
Honor, if I may.
No, save all
Okay.
this for the closings. Look, insofar as there's value in illuminating these sorts of discrepancies in the language of our laws, which are, as we all know, currently works in progress, I am going to allow this argument to be taken to a certain limit, but I do hope you have other things to argue in this case.
O kurwa.
I'll put it that way. So I'll give you some latitude here. I'm overruling the objection. You can point out the language of the penal code, and that will go on record in this case.
Okay. So to restate the question, I suppose, when you look for when you look into the penal code for instances of a controlled dangerous substance, does marijuana appear?
Are you asking again about the charge itself? If marijuana is in the charge?
If you look for instances of controlled dangerous substance within the penal code, does a charge concerning marijuana appear?
If I'm just specifically looking for that, no.
Okay. Let's see here. When you look at the charges concerning marijuana possession, do they mention the title controlled dangerous substance within their verbiage?
Give me 1 second to read over just to confirm.
Sure.
In the drug trafficking, it's the proof or evidence that they as cultivated controlled or dangerous substance.
Not that I can see.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
arguing the fact that it doesn't.
Are you familiar with Mr. Espresso's criminal record? Have you dealt with him in the past?
I've pulled him over in a tow truck once or twice.
Okay. Do any of these prior incidents have marijuana involvement or controlled dangerous substances?
No, it's just a traffic stop. No.
Okay. I would yield to my sponsoring attorney. I don't believe I have any further questions for this witness.
All right, great.
Dobrze się spisują, kurwa, ale może być problem. Mogę być wjebany na 1000 lat! Umrę! Czy tam są, kurwa, Polacy?
You have any questions, Xavier?
Przyszli?
Nope. I just need to check here.
You said no?
No questions, but check your email.
Ostatni,
Okay.
ostatni
No
Polak.
questions pending, Your Honor.
Prosecution.
Yeah, just a few questions, Officer Tips.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just want to clarify. Besides the other statutes that you were asked about, is marijuana a controlled and dangerous substance?
Objection asked and answered.
I would like a rebuttal.
Yeah, certainly, Your Honor. I don't really have a rebuttal, to be quite honest with you, other than that asked and answered is generally per party. We haven't asked this witness this particular
Fajny
question.
to jest pokaz takiej walki.
And the question that
Lubię
I
to.
asked, I do believe is a little bit different than the one that was posed by the defense.
That's
but
what I'm
let's
getting
roll.
at. Are you asking him what his opinion is of if it's a controlled substance or according to the penal code?
Yeah, I'm asking him, besides how the charge is labeled, whether or not basically whether or not marijuana is a controlled dangerous substance, in his opinion, in his experience as a law enforcement officer and the law.
All right, I'll overrule asked and answered, but I sense about 2 more coming.
I thank Your Honor. Well, what's
Give
your
that a
answer,
second.
officer?
So if you could just
Okay.
repeat the question for me one more time.
Yeah, I'd like to hear the question again.
Yeah, certainly. So besides the other statutes and charges you were asked about, based on your experience, is marijuana a controlled dangerous substance?
Yes.
Objection to relevance. His specific opinion as to whether or not what is defined as controlled as a dangerous substance is not particularly relevant. We care about the penal code and what's written into law here.
Well, Your Honor, I could. I did object to relevance previously on their line of questioning, and this is basically the same point that I'm trying to clear up here on redirect. They were asking already about whether or not a particular drug is a controlled dangerous substance. So following up, trying to ask further questions about the specific statute that they were talking about, the specific charges. If this is irrelevant, then so was their previous line of questioning.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that. And you know, I do want to know how this is enforced versus how it's worded. So,
Dzięki, Mawisku.
Opened up.
Kaka, dzięki.
I'm gonna allow you to get his opinion on that.
Understood. Thank you, Your Honor.
Słuchajcie, fajny report zrobili.
Can answer the question.
Zrobili taki report zdjęciowy, ja wam później to pokażę.
Do I believe that marijuana
No
is a controlled
profesjonalnie.
and dangerous substance? Is that the question?
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
And I also want to clarify, have you investigated drug trafficking cases?
Objection, facts not in evidence. In order to reference those investigations, they would need to be here in order to be materially referenced.
Czekaj, ja się nie zgodziłem na posiadanie marihuany, ale na dystrybuowanie tak.
Without a present sense impression, asking him to verbally recall them as testimony is improper.
Okay.
May I respond?
I got you. Yes.
I'm asking him more so about his experience. If I were to delve deeper after that question and asked him, in such and such case, did this happen? Then certainly
Już nie pamiętam,
objection would be
ale
valid.
zgodziłem się na kilka, nie?
And getting at more his experience with drug trafficking cases rather than the particular facts of those.
All right. I'm sustaining the objection. Mr. Hall, this is a tertiary witness of a responding officer to a primary. So I don't think we need to get into his life story here today. I think you've delved enough into his past experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll leave it at that, Your Honor. Just give me one moment.
Pełna profeska zawsze. Tylko ja się zestresowałem, wiesz?
All right, thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
Nie sądziłem, że to aż tak będzie dojebane.
All right. Is this witness marked for recall?
He is not. No, Your Honor.
All right. The witness is free to leave. If you have other places to be.
Będzie ktoś tak miły i zerknie, zobaczy na początek, jak mi zadawali te pytania, to do czego powiedziałem guilty, a do czego not guilty? Bo ja po prostu miałem powtarzać za adwokatem. Na pewno nie przyznam się do drug traffickingu. Będę wdzięczny dla takiego widza. I okażę swoją wdzięczność. Z początek rozprawy, jak mnie pytali.
Officer Suarez, raise your left hand. Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you airborne.
Yes.
All right, witness is sworn in. Prosecutor Hall.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. All right, Officer Suarez. Just want to ask, where do you work?
The Los Santos Police Department.
All right. And in that role, have you had experience investigating drug cases?
Yes.
How much experience?
A lot. I would say a good amount.
Define a good amount, you motherfucker!
Right, thank you so much. Now, I want to ask you a little bit more about that. Now, when you're investigating a case involving drugs, what evidence do you tend to look for when you're dealing with someone you suspect of drug trafficking?
Brodaty, dzięki.
I would be looking for the amount of marijuana they had, the drugs they had in their possession, as well as any evidence to prove as far as the prongs to go for drug trafficking, such as seeds, rags, plants, etc.
All right, let's start off with the amount.
It was only fucking 2 seeds and 1 orange plant. What the
are you looking
hell
for
are you saying about?
For it to be drug trafficking?
At least a felony amount, yeah.
So over a felony amount, you may suspect them of drug trafficking. Is that about accurate?
2 kurwa ziarenka.
Yes.
Okay. And the other factors. So the manner in which you find them with that amount of drugs. What are some things that you look for in terms of the discovery of it?
And this is in relation to drug trafficking, yeah?
That's right.
Okay. I would be looking for, in this case, marijuana proof of cultivation, such as seeds or plants, or weed plants, and any other evidence that like a rack, etc., dried weed, baggies, bricks, etc.
All right. And I guess to ask you a little bit more about that. So, if I'm to understand you correctly, is it true that if you find things such as seeds and other paraphernalia used to manufacture the specific drug, is that the evidence you're looking for drug trafficking?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess to further add on to that, what about the location of where the possession of these items are? If you find, say, a lot of marijuana in the person's apartment, a lot in their car, a lot on their person, can you make any inferences about the locations of the possession of the paraphernalia and the drugs?
Yes.
I'm going to object to calls for speculation. The Counselor Hall is asking for a very vague sort of series of events and qualifiers that are not specific to the case at hand. If it could be narrowed down specifically to the case at hand in which the defendant is being accused, that would be appreciated. We're not in law school. We're here about.
Dzięki, Unfly.
All right, the color commentary you can save it. Counselor Hall, do you have a rebuttal?
Yes,
to the
certainly.
objection?
It would be more speculation if I was asking about a particular fact about this case. I'm more asking, based on his experience, what he can infer from different
Czyli
factors.
nie przyznają się za posiadanie marihuany, tak?
Be speculatory, but I'm more so asking him about if, based on his experience, if he finds a lot of drugs or paraphernalia
To dziwnie mi
in
kazał
multiple
powiedzieć szczerze.
locations in which the
To tak se teraz myślę, że dziwnie kazał powiedzieć, że
either actually
nie miałem marihuany, ale miałem intencję jej sprzedaży.
way possessing those items, what the different locations can tend to indicate based on his experience.
Salim.
Salim. Yeah, I don't like the objection, and I like the rebuttal even less. So I'm gonna sustain the objection, and you can break that down into different questions.
Why are you giving me the finger?
If you want to, but narrow it down.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Officer Suarez, is there anything that, based on your experience investigating drug crimes, are you able to make inferences about a suspect who you find marijuana seeds and other paraphernalia in, say, their car?
Yes.
All right. What kind of inferences could you draw?
That they are in possession of such items.
All right. What about if you found, again, those similar possessions, drugs and paraphernalia, in not only just their car, but other properties that they owned, say their apartment and their person?
That they're utilized in these different areas to, conduct cultivation. Right? If they have seeds in their pockets and they have a plant in their truck, the inference would be that they are using the seeds to create a weed plant. And then if they have baggies of marijuana in their apartment, then those weed plants if they have dried racks in their apartment, those weed plants are thereby being dried, and thereafter there's baggies of weed and bricks of weed. I would connect the fact that weed is being dried and they're being placed into bricks, and then shortly after baggies.
I see. So does the possession of multiple stages in the cultivation process, so the possession of seeds as well as plants as well as the packaged portions, does all of that generally tend to show that the person is in the process of cultivating or manufacturing?
I'm going to object to that as leading. He's directly putting words in the witness's mouth.
Yeah. Sustained.
Certainly, Your Honor. I'm happy
Stop
to
testifying.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. It was a very long question. I apologize there. I'll move on. All right, so I want to ask you a little bit more about the actual facts of this case, Officer Suarez. So I guess, when did this happen?
This happened in February, early February. I'm not sure the exact date. I'd have to take a look at the report just to jog my memory. It's been a little bit.
Yeah, of course. I guess, were you on duty on the 18th?
Yes.
All right. Now, did you respond to any drug sale calls on that day?
Widzę to na gry tyka się szykuje. No właśnie.
Honestly,
Nie wiem, czy
I believe so.
pić, czy...
I believe so, yeah.
Czy paść?
All right. Let me get you to take a look at the report.
Okay.
Ale wiesz, ja nie mam tutaj nic,
section,
nie?
I'd like you to take a look at the evidence marked, it should be as drug sales, I believe.
Drug sales? Evidence. Drug sales. Już patrzę.
I do not see that one. At least not marked as drug sales.
All right, give me one moment. All right, I'm sorry. It should be labeled as dispatch call. Dispatch
yes.
call and
I
then
see it.
dispatch call 2.
Z pół godzinki rozprawa trwa.
All right, now do you recognize those calls?
Yes, I do.
All right, how do you recognize them?
So this dispatch call for a drug sale was for the exact same Yosemite truck that Charles ESPRESSO was driving when I pulled him over.
Daktyl, dziękuję za 13
All
miesięcy.
right, and can you just walk me through what happened? Like, why did you pull him over?
I pulled him over because the plate was flagged.
Kurwa,
What was it
no.
flagged at?
Jebane
Flagged
picie i
stolen,
jedzenie.
and obviously dispatch flags it as well for the drug sale call.
All right, and where did you try and pull him over at?
I believe Alta Street. I believe it was like Alta Street, somewhere north of the Arcadia Center, right above Del Perro Freeway. I believe that street is Alta Street.
I gotcha. And did he yield to you?
Originally, no. He did not stop for like roughly 60 seconds before he finally came to a stop. So originally, no.
Gdzie jest
And what
położenie się?
happened once he came to a stop?
Pass out.
I conducted a high risk stop, and then he drove off and fled.
All right, were you able to apprehend him?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to these as relevance. The defendant, in fact, pleaded guilty to all charges related to the case at hand when it comes to his apprehension.
Yeah, rebuttal, prosecutor. We don't need to go over anything
Mają wyjebane na to.
unless it
Yeah.
has relevance to the other charges. If
Absolutely.
they plead guilty,
I'm just
so you want
saying.
to elaborate.
Sorry, yeah. I'd just like to establish a general foundation of what was happening at the time.
Odgrywaj na
Like,
me?
for instance, I'm not going to ask him about like how recklessly the defendant was driving. I'm not going to ask him trying to go into the specific charges for the apprehension, but I'm just trying to ask him about general facts of what happened, how it led up to the possession and the search that took place after in his investigation. So I'm just basically establishing it.
That's fine. I'm gonna overrule the objection with the caveat that you not belabor anything that has no fiber connecting it to things that he's pled not guilty to in terms of what he's like cop to. So
Absolutely.
if it's just fleshing out the narrative, that's fine.
Dobra, no muszę się napić, no kurwa. O, no i kurwa już wyjebane. No niestety.
And then from there, he was placed under arrest, and I was informed by Officer Tips what was in the glove box. I'll stop there for now.
All right. Yeah, absolutely.
Your Honor, sorry for interrupting. My grandpa, I mean Charles, is passing out on the floor. Something is wrong with him.
Oh no!
Oh, I'm sorry.
boy.
Mr. Acker was in the way. I didn't see that.
You okay, Mr.
buddy.
Espresso?
No, I'm not feeling very good.
What's going on?
I'm laying like.
What happened?
Oh, I feel dizzy, you know. My head is hurting. I thought I needed to drink.
We
Your Honor,
get,
if you're
Why didn't you say anything?
we just take a
saying.
brief recess to sort out if he needs medical and get him some water, please.
yeah, here. Charles, you want
We'll
medical, or just
resume
need
when the
some food
defendant
and a
is,
hand up?
Collected himself.
He needs some water, it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Really
you want some
dehydrated.
water and a hand up, Charles?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna shoot. You guys got water in the courtroom? Anyone?
I do.
Not I.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
all right.
I
so
think I'm too old for that.
I do.
All right, I'm gonna help you up and then get water so we get you hydrated there.
You guys want
did
to
you-
do?
There you go.
You guys want to?
We did offer drinks before.
Yes.
We did do that.
But
All right.
you want me to die in prison? Oh my
All
God.
right.
That's why I gave you
Here's
water.
yeah. Judge Murphy's giving you some water. There you go. Okay. Do you need any medical EMS or anything like that?
All right,
Just
we
gonna put
will,
that there for you.
in 1 minute.
Thank you. I feel much better. Thank you. Thank you. I feel much better.
Yeah. I think we're all good.
Thanks.
You feeling all right, Mr.
Yes,
Espresso? Do you
yes.
need
I
anything
feel.
else?
I feel much better. I feel
Okay.
much better.
Okay.
Yes, I think it is all because of you, sir, saying that when you found.
Mr. Espresso, this is not
Siege.
your time to speak.
Okay.
I would recommend that you take a stand behind the desk, and we will handle this for you.
Of course.
Thank you, Mr. Espresso.
Of course. What I wanted to say is that when you found a pack of condoms in my pocket, it doesn't mean that I had sex like
Mr.
10 minutes ago.
Espresso.
Yes? I didn't have
Mr.
sex
Espresso, this is
in 30 years.
Mr. Espresso,
Oh my
if
God.
you are called to the stand, you will have time to testify on your behalf.
Of course. I'm sorry. Yes.
This is not helping your situation.
Okay. Of course.
You need to relax.
sorry.
And sit down and let Jonathan do his job, or you're going to throw.
Yes.
a fit.
Okay.
Your Honor, we're ready to proceed whenever you are.
All right. I'm feeling much better. Is the defendant?
It appears that the defendant is okay. Are you all right, Mr. Espresso? Do you need anything?
Yes. I'm all right. Thank you.
Excellent.
Okay.
Are we ready to resume here?
It seems so, Your Honor.
Okay. Where were we?
Officer Suarez, did you conduct a search of the defendant?
Yes.
What did you find?
May I look at the report just to jog my memory one more time, just to make sure I don't misspeak?
If I could get you to take
To
a
nie
look
mogę.
at, in the report should be the photo marked Charles's possessions wall. Sorry.
Yeah. So in the first, in the possessions number 1 photo, I see some food, a repair kit, a knife, water, some rolled cash, a phone, beanie, and looks like a cane or a stick.
All right, and what else did you find on him? Again, you can.
Wiecie, co im powiedziałem? Powiedziałem im krótko. To, że znalazł u mnie nasiona, to, że znalazł u mnie wheat planty, nie oznacza jednocześnie, że drag trafikuje, że produkuje, że sadzę. Rozumiesz? Jak znajdą u mnie paczkę kondomów, to nie znaczy, że uprawiałem seks.
All right, anything else of note that you found?
I don't believe so.
All right.
Azdo, znamy angielski MAD.
After you
Znasz angielski? A znasz komendę taką po angielsku /unvip? Tak tylko pytam, kurwa. Daktyl, dzięki za suba. Deku, dziękuję.
Tips that there was 25 bags of marijuana in the glove box. So Officer Tips passed that to me, and then I took him down to MRPD for booking and processing. And yeah.
All right. And did you end up asking the defendant to search his property?
I did, yes.
Why did you do that?
I had believed that there was further marijuana to be possessed in his apartment and properties due to the fact that he was in possession of bags of marijuana, over 2 times the felonious amount, and weed seeds as well.
All right. And did you ultimately end up getting consent for the search?
Yes, I gave him a consent document. He signed it, and then we went and conducted the raid.
All right. Now, can you walk me through the process of conducting that search?
Sure. So we started with the apartment, and we conducted a search on the apartment. Inside of his apartment was like a whole set. There was a drying rack that had heating fans, there was electric heaters as well as a fan, and it appeared to be like an HVAC or HVAC unit right next to the drying rack. It was in like a circle surrounding the drying rack almost.
And what does that rack indicate?
Well, that rack would indicate that things are being dried.
And did you have, based on that search, any reason to believe
there was nothing on the rack?
Yes. So I believe that weed had been drying on the rack due to the numerous amounts of dried weed quite literally right next to it in barrels.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's keep going through that. What else did you see in the apartment?
Sure. So I saw several barrels, most, if not all of them, all full with further baggies of marijuana and packaged bricks of marijuana as well. On top of that, there was a large quantity of cash. There was a cash in the laundry machine. There was cash, I believe, in the barrels as well. Yeah.
All right. So to clarify, was his apartment set up to package weed?
Objection calls for speculation. He doesn't live in that apartment. Doesn't know what Mr. Espresso does in his private time.
Rebuttal.
Thank you, Your Honor. In response, I mean, ultimately, I'm asking the officer about his observations and asking him to rely on his previous experience having investigated drug cases. So asking him whether or not the apartment was set up in a way that would have allowed for the defendant to package and ultimately manufacture and deal out these drugs would be within the prerequisite knowledge he has to answer the question. And in asking him to just say if it was set up in a way that would allow for it doesn't necessarily imply that the defendant did in fact do it. But I'm just asking him if the setup would allow for it.
All right. I mean, we've already been over the inferences thing with the last witness, so just find a way to ask the question a little better. Sustain.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, certainly. All right. So the manner in which you found the apartment, did a crime take place there?
It appears so, yes.
And other than possession, what crime did you believe took place there?
That would be cultivation of marijuana.
And why did you believe that?
I believe it was cultivation because, one, there was a drying rack, but secondarily to that, it was surrounded by heating and drying units like a fan, electric heater, like I said, HVAC unit, all in a circle as if surrounding the drying rack. And then right next to that drying rack was barrels of marijuana and baggies all dried.
All right. And to your knowledge, does marijuana need to be dried?
For packaging, typically, yes.
All right. And did you find anything else of note in that apartment?
I don't believe so. I believe that is it. That was most of it from what I can recall right now.
Absolutely. And did you conduct any further searches?
Yes.
All right, what else did you search?
We searched Mr. Espresso's vehicles, and inside one of those vehicles was a tow truck, and inside that tow truck was a weed plant.
Anything else that you found in that truck?
I have to look over the evidence real quick.
Yeah, I'd like you to take a look at exhibit. It should be labeled Raid Contents Tow Truck 1.
Yes, okay. We did find several more baggies of marijuana. Around, I want to say around 70 odd bags of marijuana in the glove box of that tow truck as well.
All right, and based on your investigation, were you able to come to any conclusions on whether or not that truck had been used in the commission of any crime?
Calls for speculation. The truck was not mobile or in the process of being used for any sort of transportation at the time that the witness discovered it.
I'm gonna overrule that. I mean, there could be some other connection this tow truck has criminally.
Understood.
And
thank you, Your Honor.
That question could be inclusive just to the state and contents of the vehicle as it was inventoried. So I'll allow the question.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You just state it one more time. Just one more time.
Yeah, based on your investigation, did you find any evidence that that vehicle had been used in the commission of any crime?
Yes, that would be the further possession of marijuana. There was a weed plant in there, as well as 70 odd bags more of marijuana.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, and did you question the defendant at all?
Może powiem, że to Logan
I did,
Cappuccino.
yes.
Że to Logan Cappuccino.
All right, and what did he
Nie,
say
no nie wyjebie się na
in
ziomków.
that question?
It was an interrogation before and after. I do from what I can recall, I believe Mr. Espresso had made statements about he was something along the lines of he was just he just found it, or something along those lines. I can't remember exactly.
No, absolutely. And to clarify, did the defendant say how long he was in possession of the Yosemite you found him in?
I believe he did. Yes.
Did he say he had it for 2 hours?
Objection leading. And also, this is
Yeah.
irrelevant.
Dobrze. Objection
Okay.
leading.
I'll
Dobry
get to
jest.
the objection.
Dobry jest.
In just a moment.
Yes, Your
I'm
Honor.
just reading my notes here. Did you just say Yosemite?
Yeah, I believe that's how you pronounce it, Your Honor.
Yosemite.
Oh, Yosemite.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm not very good with pronunciations. I apologize.
All right, that was very distracting. Please repeat the question, and I'll rule on this objection.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Did he
dzięki.
say how long he had that vehicle? I asked, did he have it for 2 hours prior to when he found him?
Okay. And the objection was relevance?
I had one for leading. He's alluding to
Leading.
an answer specifically for the amount of time, and two was relevance. The fact that the vehicle was stolen is not in contest.
All right, sustained on leading.
One moment. My notes here. All right. So, based on what the defendant told you, did you find any evidence to support his reason for having all that marijuana and paraphernalia?
Mogłem Andiego wziąć na świadka, że jestem dobry.
No.
Albo Denjiego. Powiedział, że to ostatni Polak. Przedostatni
All
Polak.
right, thank you so much. Actually, I do have a couple more questions. You ended up charging the defendant with drug trafficking. Why is that?
That would be because he had met the requirements for felony intent to distribute and followed through with the second prong of drug trafficking, which would be, the proof or evidence. I can read it. The proof or evidence that the suspect had manufactured or cultivated a controlled dangerous substance.
Thank you so much. No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Turning it over to the defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Suarez, how familiar are you with the marijuana cultivation process from tip to tail?
I'd say I'm fairly familiar.
Okay. What does the word cultivation mean to you?
I would say cultivation would mean the cultivating. I don't know, the growth or the growing of plants. I mean, I'm not sure how to. That's the best way I could describe it for you.
So the way you're talking about it would be, seeds in soil, tending to the plant, growing it up to the point where it could be harvested. Is that what you're getting at?
Right. I'd say about so.
Okay. So were any of these seeds that you ever found actually in soil that you can tell?
Not that I could tell, no.
Okay. Were any of the seeds fertilized that you can tell?
Not that I could tell.
Okay. What was the status of that one weed plant that you had found within the tow truck? Was it alive? Was it fresh? Was it dead? Was it wilting?
Dobrze.
Mind if I look at the evidence just to jog my memory?
Okay.
Okay.
Tak, bo to było dead. To było dead. It was fucking dead. The plant was fucking dead.
I'm not sure.
Okay, so you're not sure what status that plant is in?
I mean, the best way I could describe it to you is it. Hold on, let me look. It looks like potentially dying or older. I'm not sure. I really don't know.
Okay. Do you have the specific knowledge to know how long it takes for a weed plant to die after it's harvested?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Did you ever actually find a plot of land in which you found weed plants growing that the defendant was tending to?
No.
Okay. So the entire extent of the weed that you had found was either it drying on racks in an apartment, already packaged up in baggies, or the seeds that you're referencing and a dead plant. Is that correct?
Do you mind just
Objection.
clarifying?
State's testimony.
Subjection.
Rebuttal.
I'm essentially grouping up all of the statements that have been put forward to this point right now. I asked him to clarify what status he found the plant in order to be so that we could clarify it as wilted, dead, or dying. And everything was actually elaborated within the direct line of questioning, specifically where all of the weed was found and what state it was found in. The question alludes to he never found it growing in the ground.
Well, Your Honor, the question that was asked specifically indicated that the plant was dead, which is a direct contradiction of the testimony that's been given.
I do have a rebuttal to that, but I will wait for your direction.
Yeah, one more.
He said that it looked like the plant may have been wilted or dying, but he wasn't sure. He had a belief, but it wasn't a material fact.
Yes.
All right. I mean, it's on record that this was
February,
and
żeby tak powiedział.
people are referring to the report to glean from this incident. So I'm not going to penalize anyone for misremembering. The facts are there. They can be referred back to. Let's not make a big thing out of this. In terms of your other concerns, Mr. Hall, this is cross, so there is an element of leading and referring back to questioning that exists already that I'm going to give latitude to. But with that being said, Mr. Acker, I think you're going a bit too long with it. So just tighten it up. Maybe.
Understood. Yes, Your Honor.
Maybe rephrase the question.
Understood. So I wanted to ask a qualifying question to follow on. I'll withdraw the previous question. I wanted to ask a qualifying question. So you said that the only reason that you believed that drug trafficking was applicable to the defendant was due to the cultivation clause. Is that correct?
It would be the second prong of drug trafficking.
Okay. And what specifically is that second prong, if you don't mind?
It would be the proof evidence that the suspect has manufactured or cultivated a controlled dangerous substance.
Okay. Can weed be manufactured, in your opinion?
Dobry. No nie może być manufakturowana. Tego się nie
I would
manufakturuje.
say so, yeah.
How would weed, a natural substance, be manufactured?
I would interpret the manufacturing as going from seeds to baggies to being placed into
Silvero, dzięki.
baggies and bagged and packaged for bagging into baggies or bricks.
Didn't you
and
just say
drying.
that the growth of marijuana would be considered cultivation, in your opinion? So which one is it? Is it manufacturing or cultivation?
I would say cultivation.
Okay. If I were to tell you or ask you more specifically, to rephrase that question, do you think that methamphetamine or any sort of synthetic substance is manufactured rather than cultivated?
I'm not sure. I haven't dealt with meth right now.
Okay, so have you ever encountered any synthetic drugs in your time as a law enforcement officer?
In the past, I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Would you describe the creation process of those synthetic drugs as manufacturing?
Are you talking about in the past? Because I haven't dealt with methamphetamine manufacturing
in the entirety of your experience. I'm leaning on you a little bit as an expert here because of how well versed you are with drugs and their different forms.
Okay, can you just restate the question again?
Się gubi, kurwa,
Call the
policjanci.
creation of synthetic drugs manufacturing.
Konstytucja! Konstytucja!
Actually, I'll withdraw that question. What does manufacturing mean to you?
Objection. Asked and answered.
Rebuttal.
I believe we've asked specifically about the definition of cultivation. I'm asking for the specific question of manufacturing here in order to draw a delimiting line between the witness's understanding of cultivation versus manufacturing as essentially an expert that they've been de facto established at on the stand, Your Honor.
Fine. Overruled. We can continue to read the dictionary.
All right, do you mind saying the question again one more time and then I'll answer it?
In terms of drugs, what does manufacturing mean to you?
It would be the manufacture or the creation of of drugs. I don't know how. I'm not sure how else to answer it. Just be like the manufacturing of it.
Okay.
Producing it or bagging it. I'm not sure. It would be pretty much like kind of that.
Okay, that's fine. So I believe we've already covered that. Never mind. Let's see here. Do I have any further questions? I will yield to my sponsoring attorney with this one. I believe that's all the questions I have. Seems like the judge was getting tired of it, so I withdrew.
Yep.
Do you have any questions?
No, I think we're good.
The defense has no further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything on redirect?
Just a few questions, Your Honor. All right, Officer Suarez.
any, like,
Are seeds necessary to grow
cannons, anything
marijuana?
like that. So,
Yes.
And did you end up finding packaged or unpackaged? Actually, let me phrase it this way: the plant that you found, did you find it unpackaged?
Yes.
All right. And does cultivation and manufacturing involve the transportation of drugs and paraphernalia?
I would agree to that.
Did you find that the defendant had transported drugs and paraphernalia?
Yes.
All right. And did you find the defendant in possession of drugs in various stages of the packaging process?
Objection. Asked and answered.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's safe to say that that's been established. Sustained.
Certainly, Your Honor. Yeah, I wanted to also ask you, is an illegal drug in a dangerous and controlled substance?
Objection. Scope. This was not that title was not alluded to during cross.
Title?
Objection.
Like what title?
The controlled dangerous substance title that the counselor is referring to. It was not alluded to during cross or used in any way outside of the scope.
Rebuttal?
I'll defer to your judgment. Your Honor. I think that controlled dangerous substance was specifically mentioned on their cross. They also questioned him specifically about the drug trafficking statute and its phrasing. But I think it would be within scope, especially in that regard. But I'll defer to your judgment on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna overrule. I think the scope has been opened enough for this.
Understood. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, would you like me to rephrase?
Yeah, just one more time because there was a brief hold there.
Yeah, absolutely. Is an illegal drug a controlled and dangerous substance?
Yes.
Marijuana illegal?
Yes.
Thank you. No further questions.
Redirect. Ask why moonshine isn't.
All right,
controlled dangerous
Suarez.
substance.
You
We don't have a
obviously
recross.
may be recalled,
Okay.
but you are free to step down for
You
now.
wanna-
Defense,
you
do
wanna
you wish to
recall
call
Mark him for
recall
redirect.
Suarez?
Yeah, mark him for
It's one of
recall.
your witnesses.
We would like to mark this witness for recall, Your Honor.
I figured you might. Suarez, I doubt you were going anywhere, but please
Yeah,
stay
yeah.
put.
I'm here for the end of it.
Is that the last of the prosecution's witnesses? At
It
this
is,
time?
Your Honor.
How are we feeling about a 5-minute recess before we pick it up with the defense?
Sounds good, Your
Everybody
Honor.
good to proceed, or
We're-
or 5 minutes good?
I mean, we're good to go. I know we are running a little tight on time.
Okay.
Oh yeah. You know what? Let's just keep it moving then. We'll take our 5 minutes.
Czyli nie
If
będzie.
we need it at that time.
Do you want to take that question? You want to
Defense?
Xavier?
Yeah, I got it.
We would recall Officer Suarez to the stand.
All right, Suarez, get back up
Yeah.
there.
Hello, Officer Suarez. How are you doing today? Good.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
speak
I'm
up for
good.
me.
I'm not yelling. There we go.
All right. You mentioned in your previous testimony that illegal drugs are considered controlled and dangerous substances. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay. So then is moonshine too also a controlled and dangerous substance?
Oho. Xavier Monroe. Wchodzi, kurwa, do gry.
I'm not sure.
He's not sure?
Your Honor, if you could instruct the witness to not look at his tablet, I haven't given him anything to reference.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, what?
Nothing, Your Honor. The witness corrected himself. Give me just a moment, Mr. Swire, Officer Swire. I don't know. Answer's not great, but is there anything else you want me to hit on with this one?
No, I don't believe so. I honestly, I'm just looking to amend the closing statement because I believe the nuance of the cultivation is what we're going to get out of with here. I don't think the controlled dangerous substance thing is going to bear any fruit. But I
I'd
think
still
the
make that argument, and I would just hit him with, I'd hit him in addition to the call. I mean, just stack it.
sure. But I don't think I have any questions off.
No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Yeah, I got
Okay.
nothing on Cross, Your Honor.
All right, get back
Yep.
out of here, Suarez. Most witnesses fare worse on recall than you did.
I believe
Defense.
I
Next,
believe we
next up.
I think you're fine to rest, and well, now you're ready to highlight evidence, and then highlight, or actually, you're closing statements. So, I think you can still take time to highlight evidence if you want to highlight anything.
Your Honor, the defense would only want to highlight the evidence here or the absence thereof that no marijuana was actually found in active cultivation growing in the ground, along with the lack of previous criminal charges on the defendant's record concerning the growth, sale, distribution, anything regarding marijuana. It is absent. It is completely bare of any charges related to the substance at hand. With that, the defense rests.
Okay. All right. Do we, since we have time, do we need a quick few minutes before delivering closings, or are we just ready to go?
I would like just a few minutes to go grab some food from the vending machine, Your Honor, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll
Okay.
pick it up at 30 past roundabouts.
Morning, Mr. Dean.
How you doing?
Bad.
Grandpa. Are you alright?
I'm not.
Do you find yourself guilty?
No. To twoja dupeczka?
Znajoma.
Stąd?
No, stąd.
Niezła.
Wiesz,
Niezła.
nie nauczyłeś mnie, wiesz, jak to tam się obchodzić z takimi.
Mogę ci pokazać, jak wyjdę, ale prawdopodobnie szczesnę kurwa na zawsze w więzieniu. To już koniec. To już koniec tej historii. To już po mnie. Już po mnie. Znaleźli 5 kilogramów weedu w moim kurwa apartamencie. Jest koniec. To jest koniec. Adwokat był dobry, ale no niestety.
Ciotko, no nie mów tak. Nie zostałem sam, tylko ja i ty. Polski dom się rozpadł.
Polski dom. To od początku był plan Adamczyka, żeby rozpadł się polski dom. Nie mówiłem ci tego. Nie mówiłem ci tego, ale przejąłem jego pamiętnik. Wyślę ci dokładne koordynaty, gdzie on się znajduje.
Denji, I gotta go to sleep. I'm sorry. Good luck
Yeah,
with your
thank you.
case, mister.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ash, for support. Appreciate that.
Boss.
Muszę iść się napić i wziąć coś do jedzenia, ale później podam ci pamiętnik Adamczyka. Powiem ci, gdzie on jest. Przeczytasz, dowiesz się tam wszystkiego. Dowiesz się tam wszystkiego! Nazywam się Charlie Espresso. Właśnie w tym momencie jestem sądzony za posiadanie wielkiej ilości marihuany. Najprawdopodobniej pójdę siedzieć na wiele, wiele lat. Najprawdopodobniej będzie to koniec tego sezonu. Czy nas dojdzie następny? Chuj wie. Gdzie jest kurwa vending machine? Tutaj chyba. Czy ja mogę to kupić? Muszę. Ja muszę to kupić. Bo inaczej padnę. Została minuta. Trzeba wracać na salę. Może ja też powinienem coś powiedzieć, jakąś mowę końcową. Powiedzieć na przykład Your Honor! O kurwa. Dlaczego? 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 Why? Why? But I'm not out of food. Ej, co się stało? Ej, Chrismo, dziękuję serdecznie za 7 miesięcy. Sajter, dziękuję. Co się stało? Nie, no, no już jest ogłoszenie wyroku, no nie wierzę w to. Przecież miałem jeszcze jedzenie i picie. Co mam napisać? Co to jest? Co jest? Kurwa. No dobra. Pomyślą, że spierdoliłem, tak. Miarbstorm, dzięki za 15 miesięcy. No nie wiem, czemu padłem. To jest co, damage od lodówki dostałem jakiś? Ja pierdolę, ale lipa. Kurwa, no. Komu się to mogło wydarzyć? Damage od lodówki. Critical, kurwa, fridge hit. A mogę kupić coś teraz? Mogę chociaż kupić. Mogę to chociaż kupić. Mogę troszeczkę jeszcze wody? No to pięknie, kochani. No to pięknie. No to pięknie, kochani. Całą rozprawę przesiedzieliśmy, żeby kurwa nie usłyszeć wyroku. Całą rozprawę. Kochani. To koniec. Charlie Espresso zmarł przez porażenie prądem od lodówki. Był już tak blisko wyroku. Ale niestety każda historia ma swój koniec. Jest! Jest!
Mr. Espresso?
Mr. Espresso?
The fridge is electrical. I tried to buy some food and it electrized me.
Hey, officer, need medics.
Kurwa.
You were trying to get some food? Okay. Officer Suarez?
I was shocked by the fridge.
He's in the
Don't touch it. Do not touch it.
He's in the break
Grandpa!
vending machine.
Kurwa.
Which one is that? Which one is that?
This one right here.
What happened to my grandpa?
Yeah, me
Alright.
the city hall. My client was electrocuted.
Yes, please.
Electrocuted or
Yes.
or
Do not touch
He
the
was
fridge.
electrocuted by the machine.
Okay. All right. Mr. Espresso. Let me look you over real quick. Mr. Espresso, I can bandage you up if you like.
Yes, the fridge
Do
was.
you- Okay, I'm gonna move you out here. Just oh god. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I'm gonna move him out so that EMS can get him.
Be careful with my grandpa, Suarez.
Oh boy. I'm
Hold on.
Oh god.
Oh!
Oh.
Tackle Suarez.
Will tackle me.
Okay.
Uh oh. Okay.
There you go.
There we
Oh
go.
god. Oh, he's not letting.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Oh,
No.
Okay.
I don't know what to do.
You need to put him in something.
Need to get
I'm
out.
gonna move him outside. Mr. Espresso, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Mr. Suarez.
I'm
And
gonna
you
put
want
you in
to...
the car, okay?
I see that you want to kill me before you
No,
hear the
I'm
verdict.
not. I'm just trying to get you medical, okay?
Okay, Mr. Suarez. What a bad day for me. What a bad day for me. I was trying to
Yeah.
get some food from the fridge, but it electrocuted me, and I was like...
Okay. Shoot.
Yeah, I really want this whole thing to come to an end. Oh! Matthew, dzięki za 23 miesiące.
Okay.
Ten ci rób zdjęcia, że mnie wywozi, kurwa. Rób zdjęcia, że mnie wywozi!
Looking at City Hall for the 47.
Looks like your issues might be resolved, officer. Are you okay?
No.
Oh, never mind.
Meh. The other.
Yeah,
he's
he
a car,
firm.
so he can put
He
him,
got
inside the
electrocuted
car.
by the vending machine.
Grandpa, you will be fine. I love you, Grandpa.
We might need to put him in the car. I can't let go of him. I'm gonna put him in the car. We're near the ending parts. Oh, I can't put him in the car.
Hey, you're fine.
Okay. Oh god.
Oh, there you are.
Okay.
Lord.
Well, he's gone.
I guess I'll just put him in the car again. I don't know.
Oh, do you still have him?
Yeah.
He might have to nap.
There you go. You see him? You go.
He's actually lying on the ground.
Yeah, I see him on the ground here. Mr.
He's right
Espresso, can you
there.
hear me?
Yeah,
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
I'm gonna help him up.
Yeah,
Is that okay?
Yeah. No, that's
Okay.
fine.
All right.
Mr. Attorney, first pass him a bottle of water, and now Charlie's on the ground.
I think that's.
I'm Espresso. I'm gonna help you with your feet just so you can get taken care of. Okay.
Oh, where?
Okay. There you go.
There he is.
All right.
Let me take a look at him quick.
You okay,
Yeah.
Mr. Espresso?
I feel much better. Thank you, Mr. Suarez. I feel much
Need
better.
water or anything?
No. I don't need to. Like I said, I was really cool, but the fridge electrocuted me.
Okay.
Were you?
okay.
Did I see you just kind of sleeping in a tow truck earlier?
Today?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't me.
Okay.
It was my lookalike Salim.
Oh, okay.
If you will meet him again, say fuck you from Espresso.
I tried saying hi to him. He didn't even want to say anything back, so I just let him live.
But yeah, we'll go back upstairs because we're aiming to wrap up this court case
Almost there.
before
All
the
right.
storm. Once you're done,
I cannot get to Polito. God damn it! There you go, fella. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
all right.
All right, let's go
guys.
back.
If we
Let's go
can
back, yes.
before Storm, let's go.
Yes.
Yep.
Dobra, strzelajcie, jaki wyrok będzie. Charlie'ego Espresso.
We're good. We're good. Proceed.
All right.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The fridge electrocuted me.
No apology necessary. As long as you're healthy enough to proceed, that's good enough for me. Prosecution, when they're ready to go, can begin with their closing argument.
Thank you, Your Honor. I want to start off by just really summarizing the evidence that we heard at trial today. Now, we heard how the defendant was found leaving the scene of two drug sale calls. He was found with seeds on his person when he was eventually apprehended. Law enforcement found a lot of marijuana, 25 bags of marijuana in the car that he was driving, a stolen car at that. We heard how his apartment was then searched, how more marijuana was found inside of that apartment in multiple barrels the defendant had set up. How in that apartment there were large quantities of cash strewn throughout the apartment. And how there was marijuana that was clearly in the process of being packaged. They found bricks of marijuana. They found bags. They even found a rack that was clearly being used by the defendant for the purposes of drying said marijuana. They also searched his truck, his tow truck, and they found 69 bags of marijuana and a marijuana plant. Now, the evidence that was presented clearly shows that the defendant was over the legal limit of marijuana, and thus he is guilty of possession. But we've also met our burden in establishing that he has met sufficient elements of drug trafficking from to be found guilty. Specifically, I'll read this out. The defendant is being prosecuted under the second element of drug trafficking. And that reads as follows. Proof or evidence that the suspect has manufactured or cultivated a controlled dangerous substance. Now, as to the cultivation, this mainly means that there's evidence to show that the defendant was growing marijuana and readying it for manufacture. Now, despite what the defense may have you believe, this is not specific to finding a field with a bunch of marijuana growing. There can be evidence that is presented that shows that a defendant is in the process of manufacturing, of cultivating, without the direct picture of, say, again, this field of marijuana. Now, to get a little bit more into that, the defendant was found with a marijuana plant. He was found with a large amount of marijuana that was already packaged, and he was found with seeds. Now, the possession alone is enough for the court to infer and to conclude that the defendant has engaged in the act of growing. Being found with the various components necessary to grow is evidence that the defendant has in fact grown. Being found with full packaged marijuana, a plant, and seeds is clear that he was engaged in the process of cultivation. Those are all the steps necessary to grow marijuana. That's what he was found with. So the possession enough is alone to infer and for us to prove cultivation. But he's also met the standard to show that the defendant has manufactured. And manufacturing in this instance mainly has to do with any of the following. I mean, transporting, packaging marijuana or drugs, or even being in the prolonged possession of controlled dangerous substances, just to name a few. And in this case, the evidence shows that the defendant was transporting marijuana. He was fleeing law enforcement with a whole bunch of marijuana in his car. He had seeds on his person. He was fleeing drug call sales. And he had a whole bunch of bags of marijuana in his tow truck. This, again, is enough to establish that he was using his vehicles to transport the paraphernalia and the drugs. He was also found in possession of marijuana in various stages of the packaging process. Unpackaged plants, packaged into bags and packaged into bricks. This, again, is enough to conclude that he had been in the process of readying that marijuana for the distribution and sale. And finally, we know that the defendant was in the prolonged possession of said drugs and paraphernalia. And the defendant did submit to an interrogation. And during that interrogation, he certainly lied. But there were a couple of things that we believe he was telling the truth about. First being how long he was actually in possession of these drugs and paraphernalia. Now, it's our position that he was telling the truth when he says in that interrogation that he had been in possession of the drugs and paraphernalia for weeks at that point. And the reason that he had been in possession for weeks is because he was engaged in the act of growing the marijuana, packaging it, and then we believe distributing it. And, Your Honor, since it hasn't previously been mentioned, the relevant timestamps for the interrogation, what really matters, it starts at 5 hours, 11 minutes, and 31 seconds, and then goes to 5 hours, 16 minutes, and 50 seconds. That's really where the defendant admits to the most relevant details in this matter. But again, the point there is that he was in possession for a long period of time. That was the kernel of truth in the acorn of the lie. And at this point, I do want to clarify a little bit of things that have been brought up by the defense. First off, they've tried to argue through the course of trial that marijuana does not amount to a controlled dangerous substance. And this, of course, is incorrect. Now, if you solely relied upon the titles of a few charges, which is basically their argument, then perhaps you could come to that conclusion. But it's a wrong interpretation of the law. See, if you were to say, first off, let me clarify, there is no specific statutory definition of what a controlled dangerous substance is. The titles of these charges does not amount to a definition. Those are regulating other illegal drugs. That's what that title means. There'd have to be a specific law that says a controlled dangerous substance is any of the following in order for the court to rely on that sort of definition. And we don't have that. So instead, the court must rely on a common understanding of what a controlled dangerous substance is. And we heard some testimony that supports it here today. And that is that a controlled dangerous substance is anything, any illegal drug, essentially. So marijuana, of course, falls under that definition. The defense has also argued that the defendant does not have the prerequisite previous pattern of distribution or previous charge. And that's not necessary because in this case, we have shown that the defendant does meet the criteria of intent to distribute, and he, of course, has pled guilty to that. So we have sufficiently met our burden in showing a proper pattern. He's pled to that charge. He's admitted that he has engaged in that pattern of distribution. We've met our burden there. And they've also brought up the fact that the defendant wasn't found, again, on this marijuana field. Now, it's our assertion that that's not necessary. The possession alone of marijuana in the different stages of the growing process is enough for the court to conclude that he has cultivated. Again, same thing goes with the manufacturer. He was found in possession in the different stages. He clearly had the setup in his apartment, package the marijuana. He was found with the other means to grow it, and therefore we have met our burden in proving beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant has engaged in the manufacture and cultivation of controlled dangerous substances and should be found guilty as to the charge of drug trafficking. Thank you, Your Honor.
Real quick, I think it's important to mention.
Thank you, Mr. Hall.
There was no fertilizer. There was no watering cans. A couple of seeds.
You said 5 minutes and 11, or 5:11 was the timestamp. 5 hours.
So it starts at 5 hours, 11 minutes, and 31 seconds.
5 hours, 11 minutes, and 31 seconds. All right,
That's
I got
right.
it. All right, sorry. Defense, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Based on the evidence and testimony presented to the court currently, the felony possession of marijuana charge is contested as it is redundant with the felony possession of intent to distribute. The greater charge of the two, of which the defense does yield. The drug trafficking charge that is in contest specifically applies to the cultivation when a drug of natural resources is within contest. The prosecution never displayed evidence or testimony suggesting that the defendant cultivated these marijuana plants themselves. There is no farming tools, there is no watering cans, there is no fertilizer, there is no subject plot of land, there is no traveling to and from this plot of land that would ever suggest that the defendant had cultivated these plants themselves. Only distributed the finished product, which is in line with the felony possession charge with the intent to distribute. Only not for the drug trafficking, which intends to encompass an entire operation from soil to sale. The prosecution references a dead plant and unfertilized seeds, neither of which have been cultivated to fruition. Neither of them have bore fruit or anything that would suggest the matter that they had ever entered or interacted with soil to qualify for cultivation. Manufacturing as the court may well know, but as emphasized due to the nuances of the penal code and the charge at hand, is the act of synthesization of something unnatural from natural components, something relevant to synthetic drugs like oxy or its derivatives, methamphetamine or ketamine, not the act of bagging and drying a natural drug such as marijuana, which would be more appropriately labeled as processing rather than manufacturing. Within the penal code, there are specific substances scheduled as controlled and dangerous, which does seem to be a very specific title. You will find this title specifically within more aggressive, synthesized, unnatural drugs such as oxycodone, such as methamphetamine, such as ketamine, such as metamorphine. But you will not find this title within the possession of marijuana charges, leading us to believe that in the lack of definition, where the drugs have been deliberate in their titling for other charges for other substances that are illegal to distribute or sale without proper control, that marijuana is not worthy of this title, of this charge, and thus the drug trafficking charge does not necessarily apply to it. A qualifier within the drug trafficking charge is also an establishment of behavior. The defendant has no such criminal history, with this being his first incursion with the law concerning the plant of marijuana itself, nor has the prosecution summoned any citizen that is capable of testifying to the sale of the marijuana directly, another qualifier of the drug trafficking charge. The letter and the spirit of the law in this case would find the defendant not guilty of all contested charges. With these three prongs left unfulfilled, it is the request of the defense that the court find the defendant not guilty of drug trafficking, as by evidence and testimony heard today, is not a solo, all-inclusive kingpin from soil to sale, as the prosecution has painted him to be. He is a simple distributor of product. We don't know where that product came from, but there is no evidence to suggest that he cultivated himself. And he should be found culpable for the actions that he has committed, not what the prosecution would try to string along for you to believe that he has done, with no actual evidence to paramount to that point. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, excellent. We have a few minutes to find a nice place to wait out the storm. When we return, Suarez, I'm going to want you to, when we get back here, share the report. There should be a new section for that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
To get everybody back here in the gallery to be able to try and look at that. If you can try to set that up when we get back.
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
That should be.
Can I say a few words at the end, Your Honor?
Don't.
It is.
It would only be appropriate for sentencing. Let's wait on a verdict before we get into that, Mr. Espresso.
Okay.
Apologies for the
we're all
outburst,
waking. We're waking back after the storm for verdict and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna dive under the desk.
I'm gonna go outside and begin deliberations, and then we'll meet back here. And
Mr. Espresso, will you need a wake up pill to come back after the storm?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
All right, recess until after the storm.
What's up,
Thanks,
Damien?
everybody.
Logging. LG, baby.
Xavier, unrelated matter, real quick. Xavier, unrelated matter,
nie da się
like
tym
really
domom.
quickly.
Dobra.
Dasz radę, no niestety ja nie zdążę być, wiesz, jak to jest z tymi niestety sztormami, tsunami. Trzymaj się, dziadku, wierzę w ciebie, że się jeszcze zobaczymy.
Być może się zobaczymy, no.
Będę cię odwiedzał, wyślę ci rakietę.
Na parę lat poszedłbym siedzieć.
Wyślę ci rakietę, dziadku. Trzymaj się i zobaczymy.
Do zobaczenia. Nie pozwolili mi powiedzieć nic na koniec. Szkoda. Bo przygotowałem piękne, kurwa, przemówienie. Przygotowałem piękne przemówienie, które by rozwiało wszelakie wątpliwości. I mam tutaj kilka argumentów, o których nie powiedział adwokat, ale chuj w dupę już, kurwa. Nie powiedzieli, że don't. Dzięki jeden. Dziękuję serdecznie jeden za rajdzika, siema.
Shift 2 or shift 1?
Your Honor, I'm an old man, and I made a mistake. Mistake I regret. And I will regret it for the rest of my life. But please, Your Honor, take into account not only my mistakes, but also the mistakes of the police department during this case. I would like to point out that the policeman did not know what the condition of the plant found in the truck was. Apart from photos, we did not receive any toxicological tests of the found plants. We don't know anything about the potential CBD or THC content. No examination of the found items was proved. And you, officer, sit down, okay, until I will finish my talk. Manufacturing? Yes. I have 2 seeds and 1 dead plant. I was not growing. I was not manufacturing. And finally, I was not drug trafficking. There is no proof of this. I also have a knife, but I haven't killed anyone. I have condoms, but I haven't sex in 30 years. I'm asking for a small sentence. Tyle. I to by było dobre. Oni myśleli, że ja kurwa bym se jaja robił. Dlatego nie chcieli powiedzieć. Spytaliby, co to jest CBD i THC i skąd o tym wiesz. Słuchaj, to w książkach od biologii już o tym piszą, stary. Czy ja mogę coś wypić albo coś zjeść? Jest woda. Może się gdzieś schowam. No, dobrze sobie poradzili chłopaki, zobaczymy jak to będzie wyglądało, ale bardzo jestem zły na nich, że mi nie dali powiedzieć ostatniej rzeczy. Nawet jeżeli miałbym spierdolić całą sprawę, to chciałem przed sądem to powiedzieć. No ale trudno, może trzeba się bardziej Oni myśleli, że kurwa co? Oni myśleli, że kurwa co? Że ja jestem kurwa Charlie Espresso tylko? Oni nie znają kurwa Felipe Montes i Better Call Montes, kurwa? Nie znają tego, kurwa? Nie oglądali? A używał kurwa tych samych słów, co kurwa Felipe Montes na rozprawie z jego Raidera, kurwa, w lipcu 2021 roku, kurwa. Tych samych argumentów używał. I powiem tak, jak Felipe Montes prowadził sprawę Oziego za podobne zarzuty, to Ozzy wyszedł, kurwa, i prokurator prawie siedział. Echo jak w kościele. Tak. A właśnie, kilka słów, słuchajcie. Komputer chyba już działa. Przeszedł... No, w tym momencie jesteśmy cały czas w fazie testowania kompa, ale wydaje mi się, że będzie już tylko i wyłącznie... W sensie, że sytuacja została rozwiązana przez 2 dni, słuchajcie. działałem nad kompem. Wstrząśnij nim, wstrząsnąłem, zmieszałem, stary. Nie wyłącza się już za dotknięciem, nie wyłącza się przy CS-ie, przy Game Dev Tycoon, przy Wiedźminie się nie wyłącza. Nie wyłączył się w zasadzie od wczoraj, od godziny 16, kiedy można powiedzieć ukończyłem pracę związane z tym, żeby postawić go na nogi. I od wczoraj, od 16 testowałem go na różne sposoby, obciążając ramy, kartę. No różne rzeczy robiłem i no w zasadzie testy ukończyłem, słuchajcie, dzisiaj o 1 w nocy i nie wyjebał się. Co go bolało? No do końca nie wiadomo. Do końca jeszcze nie wiadomo, ale wyeliminowałem po prostu wszystkie ewentualne możliwości, które mogły się wydarzyć. Zresetował działa Classic. No nie. Co do którego kompa, myślałem, że pewnie był dystanse metalowe tam, gdzie mocowanie, bo są różne wielkości płyt i mogło być przepięcie. Słuchajcie, jeżeli chodzi o przepięcia, jeżeli chodzi o podpięcie tego komputera, zrobiłem kurwa wszystko. Absolutnie zrobiłem wszystko. Włączę to, bo na razie dzisiaj bez kamerki, dlatego że ja świeżo pod prysznica wyszedłem, jak się logowałem na serwer. No jeszcze nago siedzę, także jeszcze nie, ale spokojnie, zaraz się ubiorę i tylko wejdziemy na NoPixela. W każdym razie, słuchajcie, no myślę, że powinien komp już działać. Że powinno być zajebiście. Zrobiłem przemeblowanie, przebudowałem tak naprawdę całą sieć prądową w mieszkaniu, tak żeby ten komputer miał zupełnie osobne zasilanie, żeby nie był pod jakimkolwiek obciążeniem, bo faktycznie na panelu i na listwie miałem dużo rzeczy podpiętych. Jak się okazało w momencie, kiedy testowałem to wyłączając korki, bo podpiąłem sobie tablet pod jedno gniazdko, podpiąłem sobie telefon pod drugie, żeby zobaczyć, czy ładuje, tu włączyłem lampkę, tu podpiąłem światło, słuchajcie, to miałem tak naprawdę pół mieszkania, a właściwie całe mieszkanie jest jakby pod jednym, nie wiem jak to się profesjonalnie nazywa i być może jest jakiś tutaj elektryk, ale chodzi mi o to, że wiesz, tam gdzie był podpięty komputer, było podpięte tak naprawdę wszystko inne. Telewizor, miksery, głośniki, soundbary, konsole, światło, monitory, lodówka, GoXLR-y, wszystko było podpięte, w sensie w tej jednej fazie. I dopiero wyłączając korki po kolei i wkładając sobie na przykład maszynki jakieś do ładowania i tak dalej, zobaczyłem, które rzeczy muszę wyłączyć i tak naprawdę w tym momencie mam chyba 2 gniazdka, które jakby bezpośrednio do kompa i powiem wam tak, całe teraz mieszkanie mam również na jednym gniazdku, ale komputer ma swoje osobne. Nic nie ma, kumasz, nic nie jest podłączone oprócz kompa do tej jednej fazy. Teraz jest tylko podłączony komputer. Jest tylko podłączony komputer. Monitory są podpięte pod inną fazę. GoXLR-y, lodówka podłączona pod inną fazę. Telewizor, konsola. Komputer jest tylko i wyłącznie podłączony do jednej fazy. Mało tego, podziałałem jeszcze troszeczkę z kartą graficzną, jeżeli chodzi o wymontowanie, zamontowanie, dodatkowe testy. No i co? No, można powiedzieć, że chyba wszystko git. Ale co z napięciem na obudowie, bo to świadczy o braku uziemienia na bolcu. Słuchaj, o mojego bolca się nie martw. Chyba że mówisz o brazylijskim zawodniku, o bolcu. W każdym razie zakupiłem również drogą kupna. Pozyskałem drogą kupna również nowe listwy, nie tanie listwy. I komp jest podpięty do zupełnie innej listwy, która na 100% ma uziemienie, ma jakieś dodatkowe feature'y i tak dalej. Więc naprawdę jest nieźle, nie? Wiecie, Pato Deweloperko ktoś napisał, wiecie, nikt nie przystosował tego miejsca do tego, nikt nie wiedział, że ktoś będzie tutaj streamował, miał podłączone światło, kompa, GoXLR-a, 2 monitory, lodówkę Red Bulla, dodatkowo jeszcze jakieś inne feature'y, konsole i tak dalej. Nikt nie przygotował tego pod to. To miał być taki malutki, tutaj był taki malutki zagajnik z malutkim szklanym biureczkiem, żeby postawić laptopa i podłączyć go pod prąd. Także ja nie mam problemów jakichś tutaj konstrukcyjnych, być może jakiś elektryk by mógł powiedzieć, stary, to jest kurwa źle zrobione, ale po prostu podziałałem z tym, pokupowałem, słuchajcie, no ile metrów kabli kupiłem? Na ilu teraz kablach żyję? Poczekajcie. No 25 metrów kabli. 25 metrów kabla teraz w tym momencie jest, że tak powiem, rozdysponowane po mieszkaniu, żeby to wszystko działało dobrze. Tak, to poka tą listwę. Ale to co, mam ci z podbiórkę ją wyciągnąć? Czy kompa mam odłączyć, żeby ci pokazać tą listwę? No już ogarnij się. Czaruzmyk, dzięki za Prima. Bolca pokazać? Nie no, listwę to faktycznie mogę temu, co pytał, wypłacić. I powiem wam szczerze tak, nie poczuwajcie się co niektórzy za bardzo. Bo ja w większości was lubię. Ale jak piszę na przykład, że słuchajcie, i wiecie doskonale, niektórzy z was, kurwa nawet z imienia i nazwiska go zaraz wymienię, bo mam jego adres, ale piszę na Discordzie, słuchajcie, pracuję nad komputerem, to kurwa, i ktoś napisał, wyślij foto, kurwa, że pracujesz. No ja pierdolę, no kurwa, no nie wierzę w to. No cofam się do gimnazjum, kiedy pisałem na przykład do dziewczyny, słuchaj, idę kurwa do kościoła, ona, a wyślij zdjęcie z kościoła, bo nie wierzę ci, że idziesz do kościoła, pewnie idziesz gdzieś na imprezę albo się spotkać. No chuja pana, no już bez przesady. Inspektor kurwa pracy. No się poczułem normalnie, jak pracowałem na etacie i mi się spieprzył motocykl i wysłałem zdjęcie szefowi, że jestem na parkingu, że jestem gotowy do jechania do pracy, ale w tym momencie nie mogę dojechać. No kurwa mać, no bez przesady. Bez przesady, kochany. Wyślij zdjęcie, że kurwa pracujesz nad komputerem. No ja pierdolę, no. No ja pierdolę. Tak. Zdjęcie z karteczką z moim nickiem i z godziną. No bez przesady. Czekaj. Tak, i jeszcze selfie z kompem, żeby to było koniecznie wiadomo. Nie mogę pogadarować suba Prime? Piterko, musisz to zrobić jeszcze dzisiaj. Shudor, dzięki serdeczne. Ja wyłączyłem alerty, wiecie dlaczego? Dlatego, że... Dobra, wchodzę na serwer. Pytam się, czy UPS jest posiadany. Tak. To chociaż pokaż paragony, tak. Na szczęście AI zastąpi tych streamerów, to będą wysyłać. Jasne. No nie wytrzymam. Zgody, tak. Słuchajcie, zgodę rodziców, papier od zarządcy budynku, żebym mógł popracować nad komputerem. No po prostu, nie, naprawdę, powiem wam szczerze, rozwaliło mi to łeb, nie? Rozwaliło mi to łeb. Ja tutaj komputer mam, słuchajcie, położony na kocyku, rozkręcony, piszę na Discordzie, a tutaj informacja. Nie wierzę. Wyślij zdjęcie, że kurwa pracujesz nad kompem. No nie, no powiem wam szczerze, i jeżeli bym wysłał to zdjęcie, to później wiecie, byłyby skrajności, nie? Byłyby skrajności. Na przykład bym napisał, słuchajcie, strasznie źle się czuję, no dzisiaj będzie streama, a ktoś, to wyślij zdjęcie termometru, ile masz temperatury, a pokaż, że byłeś w aptece. A byłeś u lekarza? To zrób zdjęcie screenshota ze znanego lekarza, że byłeś dzisiaj. Wyślij, a pokaż, że jesteś w łóżku w tym momencie, że leżysz i włącz na YouTube 10. minutę zgrzytu najnowszego odcinka. Bo inaczej to będzie wyglądało, kurwa, że kłamiesz. Bo inaczej nie uwierzę. Wyślij zdjęcie, że wchodzisz na Dom Pixel. Stoisz w kolejce, tak? Stoisz w kolejce, to dodaj mnie na Steamie, żebym mógł zobaczyć, że faktycznie stoisz w kolejce. A? Testujesz kompa? W jaki sposób? A jakimi programami? A czym obciążasz ramy? Jaki to jest program, ha? A odpal streama na telefonie i pokaż, jak to robisz. Nie no, słuchajcie, powiem wam tak. Nie wchodźmy sobie na banie, nie wchodźmy sobie na głowę. Słuchajcie, jeżeli jest dzień, w którym sobie nawzajem nie będziemy ufać, to znaczy, że to jest dzień, w którym powinniśmy się rozstać. Kurwa, teraz gadam, jakbym z dziewczyną gadał. Ale taka jest prawda. Jeżeli mi nie ufacie, jeżeli mi nie wierzysz, widzu, to jest zdjęcie, w którym musimy się rozstać. To jest zdjęcie, w sensie dzień. Ciastka, dziękuję za 6 miesięcy. Jezu, ufam tobie. Jetiorek, włącz kamerkę, bo mi się wydaje, że to restream. Jasne. Czy będzie jeszcze IRL Spago? Tak, i mam na to dowody. Zaraz prześlę na Discordzie całą naszą konwersację z Messengera Spago i znajdziesz tam informację o tym, że faktycznie rozmawiamy na temat IRL-a. Nie no, stary, na ten moment ciężko powiedzieć. Na ten moment nie mamy nic ustalone, tak szczerze. Pina Colada, dzięki za 8 miesięcy. Czy będzie grane w RP? Tak, właśnie wchodzimy na serwer NoPixel. Ten typ to ja. Błogosławieni ci, którzy nie widzieli, a uwierzyli. Słuchajcie, no i sytuacja wygląda następująco, słuchajcie. Mam nadzieję, że ten komputer faktycznie będzie działał, że nie będzie żadnego problemu. No, mało tego, o kurwa. Zmieniłem całe okablowanko, podziałałem jeszcze z kilkoma rzeczami. Byłem na łączach z ekspertem, który mniej więcej mówił, na czym mam się skupić, co mam zrobić. No i powiedział mi, że może wpaść i mi pomóc z tym w czwartek najbliższy. Ale no, nie chciałem czekać. Dzięki ten typ to ja. Jaka fajna furka. Czekaj, gdzie jest sąd? Tutaj. Zrób sobie zdjęcie z tym ekspertem, jasne. Dzięki, Michalczak. Pokaż papiery na to, że jest ekspertem. Kurwa mać. Dixie, lubiłem cię. Wyślij bilingi tych rozmów z rzekomym ekspertem. To Silent Hill czy GTA? No właśnie. Czy on powiedział o ekspercie? Ten gość przed chwilą?
Awesome choice.
No, I know. I'm trying to work spelling.
Yeah, it'd be like making Bobby Charles the warden of the prison.
Czy DevTight skończyłem? Tak. Teraz każde wypowiedziane zdanie musi być potwierdzone dowodami w 3 różnych formach. Okej. Pierku, dziękuję serdecznie za 10 miesięcy. Słuchajcie,
No like share report or like plus button or nothing on the MDT that I can see right now.
słuchajcie, jutro mam spotkanie biznesowe, więc dzisiaj tak streamek pewnie max do 1:00, 2:00, bo jutro rano muszę wstać na małe spotkanie biznesowe i żeby wam oczywiście je udowodnić, będę transmitował całe na żywo na Twitchu. Tylko musicie mi obiecać, że po prostu nie będziecie nikomu mówić, będziemy gadać o pieniądzach, wiesz, o dealach, o umowach, negocjacjach, także będzie cały raport oczywiście, nie? Mój skryba również napisze wersję tekstową dla tych, którzy nie będą chcieli oczywiście uczestniczyć w transmisji. Czy mógłbyś wysłać mi potwierdzenie tego, że moje suby do ciebie trafiają? Bo jakoś coś zaczynam wątpić, gdzie trafiają moje pieniądze. Dankiang. Jasne, wyślę ci wszystkie, wiesz, historię mojego konta, transakcji, kurwa. Słuchajcie, dosłownie osoba publiczna, nie? Osoba publiczna. Wszystko dokumentować, nie? Wszystko dokumentować. Oczywiście dla widza.
Yeah, there's no option to share it that I can see anywhere. I've been looking. There's nothing.
Yeah, maybe it's not completely.
Ty. Zdaje mi się, jako twoi sponsorzy mamy do tego prawo. Astynax bez suba.
I'm still gonna look around
Actually, I believe you are the one to do it. It's that from what I understand here, you need the judge would share the report, would be able to.
Yeah, our engineers granting me the permissions now.
Tessie ma pytanie, co zrobię z pieniędzmi za mojego Twitch Prime? Najlepiej jakbyś wyciągł z żabki od razu, tak?
Our engineers granting me permissions now. That's the issue.
The IT guys are on it, basically.
Okej, jako twoi sponsorzy mamy do tego prawo. Nie masz haka. Młody Anczukat, to, że jesteś na tym streamie i subujesz, to jest transakcja wiązana. Przychodzisz tutaj po content. To tak jakbyś poszedł do restauracji, zjadł sobie ramenik i powiedział: panie, ale wyślij mi zdjęcie kucharza, pokaż mi rachunki z całego miesiąca i poproszę jeszcze, kurwa, adres siedziby firmy, kurwa, i wszystkiego. No niestety. To wygląda inaczej troszeczkę. To wygląda troszeczkę inaczej. To jest troszeczkę inaczej. To tak przychodzisz do mnie i zamawiasz na przykład dobry kontencik. Zamawiasz to, że Charlie Espresso wypierdoli bolca i lepca sędziemu po tym, jak usłyszy wyrok. To zamawiasz, rozumiesz? Przychodzisz, zamawiasz. Za to płacisz.
So, I am still basically effectively in deliberation. So I'm going to excuse myself in a minute to continue my deliberations. But I shouldn't be. I will have a decision today, and I shouldn't be too much longer.
Czyli
But,
co?
If I can verify I have the ability to share this report, I'd like to do that for you guys. This is going to be so helpful.
Halo? Przyszedł przelew, przyszło siano. Mówi papuga?
Dzwoni papuga, tak. Your Honor. Your Honor. I wanted to say something. This is not the first time I see police chasing an old man. Because I'm an easy target, you think? You think? Yes, I will go to jail today. I will. But sooner or later, I will come out. And I'm gonna kill you. Not you, Your Honor, but this policeman. Every single one will be killed and murdered by me. O kurwa. Okay.
He doesn't even have keys to the prison yet.
All right. I'm going to deliberate. Should be back soon.
All right.
Jonathan,
Bro, look what Bobby Charles just twatted out.
Sure.
He's twatting it out
Damien.
multiple
Actually, not.
times.
Damien.
He twatted it
Yeah.
out twice.
This is important. This is important.
What's up?
We have to induct Jonathan into Law Gang.
All right, we can blood him in.
All right. Jonathan getting blooded in.
Tak to rozprawa wzięła.
Law Gang. LG.
Law
bitch.
gang. LG for life. We run these streets.
Am I getting hazed here, or do I need to participate?
They gotta participate.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is only the cool people are in Law Gang.
This is
You
our gang
understand?
sign. This is real, by the way.
Oh, this is real shit. We're not
Yeah,
playing. Oh,
This is
listen,
very
listen.
real.
Hey,
Me,
everybody, go
you,
ahead and look
Damien.
into shared reports real quick.
Law gang.
I have access to it, Your Honor. I can see the evidence.
Yep.
Yep,
And,
all of the
that
pictures.
will expire in 1 hour, so it has
Oh.
it can never expire, or it can expire on a timer. So that'll be there for an hour. Wow, that's really cool. Anyways,
Yeah, this is sick.
I'll be
That's very
back
good.
shortly.
Fucking love that shit. No. So you're part of an exclusive club.
Oh fuck.
Only the
That,
cool lawyers.
O fuck, to jest kurwa.
Cornwood, me, you, Damien.
Nie no, no Pixel jest zajebistym serwerem. Zobacz jak zrobiona jest rozprawa, system rozpraw, nie? Zobacz. Zobacz to.
Taking L's or giving L's, logging.
No trochę jest. Charles in Fingerprints, Charles Possession, Charles Espresso Apartment,
Shit.
Right Contents Apartment.
Jonathan, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Does that mean I have to leave my other gangs?
No. No,
Okay.
just in this game.
Okay, cool.
What other games are you part of?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, fine. That-
So what do you think, guys? Should I say something
you're
at the
badass.
end or not? Because
you-
you thought that I will say something stupid, but I didn't want to say something stupid. I wanted to just say that I regret.
I didn't think that you were going to say something stupid. I thought that you were going to say something improper. There is decorum. There's decorum within the courtroom, and the judge gets really, really, really mad if you violate that decorum, to the point where he can just be like, you know what, you pissed me off. Here's a $5,000 fine. Shut up. I didn't want that to happen to you.
Okay,
and that's
okay.
why I said,
Okay,
so
yeah.
if there's a point where they find you guilty, if they find you guilty on drug trafficking, you will be given the opportunity to give a mitigating statement. At that point, you can speak. But there's a procedure to everything. And you have to follow that procedure, or the judge gets pissed off at you.
So if they will say that I'm guilty of drug trafficking, I will have a minute. Yes.
Yeah, we'll get you a minute.
Okay.
You will have some time to speak. Yes.
All right.
Basically, you don't want to say anything before the judge comes back with the verdict, because anything you say before could influence his decision.
Yeah, but I want to, to
It doesn't
influence
matter. We don't want you to
positively.
influence the decision. Yeah, that I'll tell you, in all of the cases I've ever tried, that has never happened. I've never seen a defendant effectively, without being on the stand, sway the decision of a court from the bench or from the defendant.
Mr. Murnau, you didn't have a case with me.
Sir, respectfully, that's just not how it works. If we wanted to do that, we should have put you on the stand and let you testify.
I have pictures that he's cheating his wife.
Unrelated. And if you
Blot
tried
it
to use
out.
it here,
Okay.
blot it out.
Okay.
That might be witness tampering. Don't do that.
Just have it ready for when the verdict goes out.
Imagine
Sorry, dzięki za 10 miesięcy.
ruining somebody's life directly before or after a court case because of their stance against you, and that actually getting charged with witness tampering. I would laugh my ass off.
Damn.
Your Honor, they bullied me.
But what do you think?
What do you think?
About the case?
I think we've got a pretty damn good shot.
Okay.
I feel pretty good about it.
Okay. Yeah. He was good, guys. He was really good. Sometimes I saw Suarez, like he didn't know what to say. He was thinking for a minute, for an hours. And yeah, that was pretty good.
I mean, that's okay. I mean, if we want to destabilize the witness, yes, we want them to squirm on the stand. But I mean, ultimately, he gave me the answers I wanted, which was basically to the effect of he never saw you planting anything. He only ever saw this stuff in your apartment, and we can't really, if it's stuff in you. Also, from here on, don't consent to a raid. Do not.
Yeah, so Jonathan, normally I would agree with you, except for the fact that if you don't consent to a raid, they throw you on a 24-hour hold and they go get an order from a judge to do the raid anyway. So that's your alternative.
But they could fuck up, and then you you file a what the hell is that thing called?
To ja chciałem to zrobić. Jonathan mówi dobrze.
And you get them out.
He had felony amounts of weed, so unless they fucked up the warrant itself, there was no way they were going to get the raid.
I mean, I feel like you should at least try, because I mean, you're looking at one day that they will give you as time served to the effect of the sentence. So even if he gets convicted here and he gets full time, that one day that he was waiting in prison would have already affected the 4.
You see, Mr. Monroe, that's why I wanted to wait, because sometimes they really fucked up. Look, when they when they were planning the case, the judge was not available. When they were trying to calculate the fee I should pay, yeah. They couldn't contact the judge, so maybe, but this is the past. Let's not think about that. Yeah, but I was thinking about waiting this 24 hours, and they, wake up and.
I have a question. Is literally everybody in the public supposed to see those shared reports?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the whole point. So people can
Okay.
follow
As long as
along.
they have an MDT, yeah, they can. They're supposed to.
Everybody in the courtroom has an MDT. That's the point.
Because people can see it like down at the front desk too.
Yeah, it's a released report. It's fine. It's being heard here and now.
Perfect.
Yeah. It's temporary. So
Czyli to, że chciałem czekać 24 godziny, było zajebistym pomysłem. Mało tego, słuchajcie, oni jak próbowali się na forum skontaktować z sędzią, żeby wyznaczył to on odpisał po 4 dniach chyba. Dopiero. Czyli ta intuicja Testriego jako 5-letniego roleplayowca była zajebista. Ale przypomnę, co pisał Unfly, przypomnę, co pisał Asdo, Vixi. Dawaj teraz, na chuj czekać, kurwa. Dawaj, wyślij zdjęcia, że kurwa będziesz czekał. A jak masz czekać, to się zamknij w kiblu na 24 godziny i tam siedź, kurwa. Musisz się wczuć w rolę. Ja mówię, słuchajcie, kochani, może oni to spierdolą. Wierzcie mi, bo może ja po prostu jutro wyjdę, wezmę te rzeczy i oni to zrajdują, ale tam już nic nie będzie. Co ty pierdolisz?
Of all the consequences of their decision, absolutely, but...
Ale i tak was kocham. Znaczy, lubię. Bez przesady. Kocham tylko parę osób z tego czatu. Mrugam do ciebie teraz, kochanie. I kochany. Teraz każdy myśli, że do niego.
Tell me there was a plant with seeds.
It's back. Let's face it.
Okay. Deliberations have been pretty exhaustive. Brief though they may have seemed, there's been quite a lot to consider in this case, namely as it's been presented, more so by the defense, whether this might be an occasion for a delayed or a deferred verdict to sort of digest some of the questions raised during arguments. I considered that with a lot of gravity, whether delaying a decision on this matter would be warranted in and of itself due to, some of those questions which were raised. And I've not found it necessary, because of the many questions raised, luckily, fortunately, you have before you a judge who not only has a detailed knowledge of the legacy of our laws in this city, but who actually has precisely the answer to all of those questions.
Oh, shit.
Now, if I could refer everyone on their shiny tablets to the penal code, there's a charge that I want to refer to that was not brought up in the court case today, which is possession of metamorphine, which is going to come into play as I explain this. It is a controlled dangerous substance charge in the penal code. There's not referenced by the defense, but it is an additional one that was not mentioned. And it bears considering, again, because I do know the answer to this. Controlled dangerous substances, where specified in charges that exist in our penal code, which, can be understood as a mixture of new implemented charges and legacy pieces of verbiage from before the collapse. The controlled dangerous substance tag on particular items within the penal code, as argued by the defense, does not necessarily tend to codify or indicate those specific drugs as synthetic so much as substances which otherwise have a legally prescribed or indicated use that would not be criminal. Drugs such as metamorphine, which is a very powerful painkiller, oxycodone, which is also a prescribed prescription medical painkiller, and ketamine, which is a medical anesthetic. Those substances in and of themselves are not criminal and are in fact do tend to be applied and prescribed medically for a variety of medical reasons. So the application of that specific verbiage to those charges tends to indicate an otherwise legal use of that substance, which could give it explanation. Not so much that those are the only substances which are controlled or dangerous or considered to be so. I now refer you to the charge of felony possession of heroin. Has any amount of heroin in their possession. Now, you can do the same for cocaine, but I think you see my point. The reason that heroin is not specifically codified as a controlled dangerous substance is because it is implicit in the fact that heroin is illegal at the felony level in our penal code that makes it so. And it has no otherwise legal, practical, applicable use by prescription or otherwise. So if I were to uphold that the lack of 3 words in a criminal charge renders the application of drug trafficking ineffective for marijuana, I would have to extend that to obviously addictive and dangerous drugs such as heroin and cocaine as well. As such, whatever people's opinions are about marijuana, at the current time, there is no decriminalization legislation It is not a misdemeanor offense to be high on marijuana. It is criminal to possess it at the misdemeanor and the felony level. It is on par on the legal level in terms of the penal code and our legislation at this time with other non-legal drugs such as heroin and cocaine. In the past, marijuana has been regulated to the extent that legal amounts were permissible, and the dispense of cannabis in legal amounts was economically supported. At this time, that is not a factor, and nor is there any legacy language that would tend to indicate that marijuana is any less legal or less illegal than other, perhaps more dangerous substances. So your defense
Czyli jakby z kokainą mnie
arguments,
złapali, byłoby to samo.
are well noted, and I could see from the perspective, without all this legacy information, seeing a discrepancy there that is more than meets the eye. But unfortunately, a controlled and dangerous substance can pretty easily be defined as something which is feloniously illegal. If there were only misdemeanor charges for marijuana, I might be inclined to lend more credence. So again, if you were high on marijuana in public and received a misdemeanor, but such and such possession of a certain amount was okay, I might be inclined to consider more heavily how it's defined. But it is classed the same as any other illegal drug in this city, and the existence of the language which was indicated by the defense is articulable and explainable by someone who is familiar with how that all came to be, as I am. So I am comfortable at this time not upholding the argument of the defense in terms of the specific 3 words in the penal code, which leaves me with the prong of drug trafficking and whether or not the prosecution has satisfied that. Now, the prosecution has laid out a case articulating that the defendant did possess marijuana, an illegal and by my estimation, a controlled dangerous substance. I will uphold that. Did possess it in various states of production and packaging for distribution on his person in multiple means of transportation, as well as his personal property. This includes seeds, whether they were decomposing or in any other state, actual plants, packaged bricks, and bagged up packages of bud, cured bud. So this articulates to me that this was a one-stop shop as far as my personal and professional understanding of drug cultivation and manufacturing. Whether manufacturing is limited to synthetics or cultivation has to be proven that there's a plant in the ground. I am satisfied, this court is satisfied, that the prosecution has met the second prong of drug trafficking per the language of the law. So with that said, I am going to be finding the defendant guilty on all charges today. But I do find there is much to discuss about clarifying some of the things the defense brought up, and I would like to applaud them for their efforts to clean up and improve some of the penal code, some of our existing charges that might no longer be necessary. So thanks, everyone. That is the decision of this court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your
Let
Honor.
me know if
Thank
you have
you,
any
Honor.
questions.
What did the court what did you decide, Your Honor, as far as sentencing here?
Would you like to hear a
Okay.
mitigating statement from the defendant?
I would like to actually proceed into mitigation if there's anything to be said. The client, the defendant may speak, and you may speak to sentencing and leniency on fines.
Yep, I believe the defendant was adamant on wanting to speak on their behalf, which is why I motioned as such, Your Honor.
Yeah. Let me. All right, mitigation. Yeah, we'll do all this. We're not done yet.
Can we provide a recommendation as to the sentence, Your Honor?
Absolutely. I'll actually let the prosecution state what they want to state, and then the defense can issue their remarks, and the defendant can speak.
Understood, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yeah, the state recommends the defendant be sentenced to 5 years imprisonment with another 5 years of parole automatically granted upon service of the initial 5 years, and that he be fined $50,000. Now, the defense, of course, may argue that he was just a low dealer, that he doesn't have many other offenses, and that there are other mitigating factors. And the court certainly should consider those. However, we would note that we've already taken that into account in our recommendation. The defendant really should be getting at least 10 years here with a larger fine and a lot more parole. But due to these mitigating factors, we've already recommended a very lenient sentence with all of the facts considered. So when the defense comes up and tell you that they don't have a lot of charges, this is too harsh of a sentence, keep in mind that this is already extremely lenient for the charge that he's facing. He's been found to have trafficked a large quantity of drugs, and a sentence that we have recommended is the only way to ensure that this activity doesn't proceed going forward. So again, our sentence recommendation is to 5 years, 5 parole, and $50,000.
Okay, thank you. Before I turn it over to, excuse me, before I turn it over to the defense, I did neglect to mention this is a case where I will be dissecting it in a long form when I close it out. So
Can we
I'll be
appeal?
writing something up with additional long-winded insights about it. So
Mr. Monroe.
if I failed to hit on anything,
You can appeal
I
to
do
a
intend
panel,
to detail this a bit further.
Basically, it won't be
so
a retrial. They'll
anyone's
just be a panel
interested.
hearing it.
Anyway, defend.
Do you believe the defendant wanted to make his own mitigating remarks? Mr. Espresso, if you still have those comments that you wish to make, now is the time.
Yes, I have, Your Honor. I'm an old man, and I made a mistake. Mistake I regret. And I'll probably regret it for the rest of my life. I'm sure about it. But please, Your Honor, take into account not only my mistakes, but also mistakes of the police department during this case. I would like to point out that the policeman here today didn't know what the condition of the plant found was in the trunk. Apart from photos, we did not receive any toxicological tests of the found plants, and we don't know anything about the potential THC or CBD. They did nothing about that. They just found it, they shoot some photos, and they did nothing. This found plant was dying, and it was only one plant. There was only 2 seeds, not a lot of seeds. Only 2 seeds, and only one dead plant. I was not growing, Your Honor. I was not manufacturing. And finally, I was not drug trafficking. There is no proof of this. There is no proof. Your Honor, I also have a knife in my house, but I didn't kill anyone. And I was not drug trafficking.
I don't understand. Is he trying to fight the guy?
This guy's got no remorse.
Got no remorse. Yeah, no remorse. Yeah, no remorse.
Yeah, that was bad.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Espresso. Defense counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. It would be the defense's request that during sentencing, and arrival at that final mark, that the courts understand the actual income of the actions that were being taken here. The fine is looking at about $50,000. However, it looks like the defendant only at any given point in time made about $3,000 from this. So if we were to look at this from sort of a damages sort of perspective, then the compensatory damages that would need to be recovered from these criminal actions would be about those $3,000, and that would leave the rest of the punitive damages to ensure this action doesn't happen again to be $47,000. That is within the current economy, that is a life-altering amount, and it does not encourage the sentenced party, the defendant here, to be trying to bring himself back up above that line. It would only encourage recidivism insofar that he would have no way to reconcile that debt, and therefore he would tend to other criminal activities where he could be paid under the table, as it were. In that fact, that there was no violence within these crimes in particular. Nobody was injured. There's no particular victim. The only people that would be the air quotes victim heard here would be the people who voluntarily bought the drugs from Mr. Espresso himself, a consensual transaction, as it were. Given that there's no victim of a violent crime at hand here, and how punitive the fine suggested would be, the defense would like to restructure and ask the court to consider maybe a 2-year incarceration period due to the fact that this is a first offense, and maybe something a little bit more reasonable that Mr. Espresso could eventually work himself out through, possibly
right,
a $35,000.
You're gonna fuck me up. You're gonna fuck me up. Say days.
Okay, 2 days and then a $35,000 fine. In order for Mr. Espresso to have adequate amount of time to ponder his actions, to consider his path forward as he is incarcerated, to rehabilitate, and to have a goal that is reasonably obtainable within a reasonable amount of time, so that he can get himself back up the bar and feel like that he can accomplish the right side of the law again, rather than being promoted into recidivism by something by being something overly punitive. Thank you, Your Honor.
You said 2 days, $35,000.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Anyone wishing to speak for or against the defendant?
He has cool glasses.
Does that include this side, Your Honor, or no? Is that just?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's kind of like going backwards at this point, but yeah.
Allegating or mitigating?
I mean, it would be aggravating or mitigating. I don't know.
Aggravating, yes. Thank you, Your Honor.
I guess Suarez was just not paying attention earlier.
Yeah. No, I was. Just 1 second, Your Honor.
While they're discussing, Your Honor, I would just point out the entire time my client was in police custody, he was nothing but cooperative with the investigation. He consented to the raid. He didn't feel like he had anything to hide. He provided an interrogation. The purpose of the interrogation was because we were working with a plea deal with the police to try and plead guilty to the crimes and lower the sentences and save the court's time. It was only the reason that the drug trafficking charge was added that we even came to court in the first place.
Okay.
Yeah, we would like to offer one final word as to the sentence, Your Honor. The defendant has shown no remorse in the statement that he has provided before the court. He clearly doesn't...
All right. Hang on. If you're gonna give one final remark because Suarez wasn't paying attention, then that's fine. But if you're going to like rebut to what he has said, that's not why I've passed it back to you. That's not.
Certainly, I'll get to the part that he was looking for, Your Honor.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a very serious case that the court has before it. There have not been any similar cases thus far, drug trafficking cases. So by imposing a strict sentence on the defendant, a message will be clearly sent to anyone that would follow in his footsteps, that would try and traffic drugs going forward. So that message really needs to be sent. Our recommendation certainly already includes plenty of leniency, and showing him any more would basically be a free ride to any further drug traffickers. It would say, you can do whatever you want. you will be shown leniency no matter what. And we'd ask the court to reject the defendant's request for leniency and impose a sentence as has been requested.
Czy to kurwa, ty wiesz ile to jest kurwa pieniędzy z tego kurwa? 50 000 mi dajesz kurwa?
Yeah. We weren't
50,000?
anyhow.
If I sell everything, I got 3,000.
First-time offender. We don't need to make a martyr or make an example of a first-time offender. There are plenty of opportunities that this court will have in the future to properly make an example of folks who are continuously and egregiously drug trafficking. Rather than crucify our client, we would suggest that, again, his lack of criminal record in the past, his lack of exposure to drugs in the past, and the pattern that is also generally a prong of the drug trafficking not being met, indicate that he is not necessarily even a repeat offender, or even that this would happen again. And as such, an example does not need to be made of him.
Okay. All right. Is there any are there any other words anyone would like to say before I
No,
proceed to
I don't think so.
sentencing?
The only thing I would do is rehash what you already said, where the pursuing
Nothing but the
justice
state, Your Honor.
for one individual.
Yeah, I think we got I think we're all good over here.
I believe the defense is settled as well, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So I've taken into equal consideration the points of view of the prosecution and the defense. I have also taken note of the defendant's decided lack of contrition and taken that into account. Not heavily, but he said what he said. Now I'm inclined to in terms of my preferences and prejudices, I do tend to favor arguments against encouraging recidivism. I do think there are systemic biases and systems in place which do tend to cause more harm than good when it comes to how we rehabilitate those who commit crime in our society. So I've taken particular note of those concerns in terms of the type of long-term or lifelong hardship that could be imposed upon the defendant.
That was from personal experience.
Due
I had to get 100K.
this conviction that might ultimately cause him to continue more desperate and high-risk means of producing income. However, that is not the problem of this court. The defendant did commit crimes, admittedly, and he is due to be punished for those crimes. He has been convicted of felonious acts, and that is not excused by any future hardship he is to endure as a consequence of those things. So I have to reconcile those 2 points of view here today. Being that this is a first offense, it's easy to adopt one point of view or the other. Set an example versus show some latitude. And neither of those really appeal to me because they're both born out of some sort of inherent malice or bias, if I even start to think that way. So what I intend to do today is simply split the baby. I'm inclined due to the sophistication and the scale of what was discussed in terms of what was recovered and discovered in this investigation, due to the dangerous chase that ensued. I mean, the defendant clearly knew that or had some idea that what he was carrying was controlled and dangerous when he was weaving around trying to escape the police. So, even though nobody got shot here today in this incident. Nobody was, attacked. There was no overt acts of violence to consider when bringing down this sentence. He's nonetheless not innocent just because just because he's a first-time offender or he didn't hurt anybody. So I'm not affording leniency on any basis such as that. But again, I do not see a value necessarily in imposing $50,000 worth of debt onto this defendant either. I think that might be a little too high. So again, I'm inclined to split the baby. I think 2 years or 2 days. I told you, 2 days is probably a bit low. So what I'm thinking is 3 days with 3 days of parole and $30,000 fine. I think is right along the lines of you don't want to get caught doing that, and it's gonna hurt, but without necessarily putting Mr. Espresso in a position to have to make more high-risk decisions just to get himself out of hock. I do think that there is hope for him yet. Seems like a guy who might be able to turn his life around. So I want to give him at least that opportunity in time. But for now, Mr. Espresso, you're going to be spending some time thinking about the consequences of your actions.
I'm thinking about it for 2 weeks, Your Honor. I'm thinking about it all the time.
Well, I hope when you get out of jail that you're able to make some better decisions. Drugs is a dirty business. The mess gets everywhere.
I miss drugs so bad.
It's pretty hard to get out of it. That is the decision of this court. As I said, a long-form dissection of my decision will be available when I close it out. So if people are interested in, more elaboration on that, I will make that available. In the meantime, any questions, see me after. Court adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. I need to eat quickly. I will meet you downstairs.
All right, Mr. Espresso. Mr. Espresso. Espresso.
I need to eat quickly. I will meet you downstairs, okay?
No, you can't. You can't leave. You can't leave. You can't leave.
Okay,
Come
so
back over
you
here.
can go with me, but I need to eat like immediately, sir.
You need to eat. Okay.
Yes.
Does anyone have any food in the courtroom?
He's going to the vending machine.
Nobody's got food. Okay, let's go. Let's go together. Come on. Hey, sir, you got some food?
I got a burger for him.
Yeah, do you mind giving him the burger?
Oh, thanks.
I got some drink for you.
In the waiting room.
Oh, thanks.
There you go. Hey, it's Oliver. I'm just calling to let you know that you got yourself a customer.
All right, Charles. You ready?
I'm always ready.
All right. All right, turn around.
Could I say just goodbye to my defense?
Yeah, here, I'll bring you over to them, okay? Xavier, Acker, Charles would like to say one last word to you guys.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Charles.
Yes, gentlemen, I wanted to say thank you. I appreciate that you were defending me like lions. Thank you so much. And I hope you will see each other after a few years or days.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Espresso. It was our pleasure to represent you as best as we could.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, I'm ready.
All right.
You can take me.
All right. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Officer Suarez.
Suarez, you wanted
All right,
to
Charles.
to have an example, yes? You wanted to
Well, you were
crucify
the
me.
first
You
no,
wanted to
no,
crucify me
I was, no,
and
no,
say that
crucifying would have been 10 years in jail, 10 years of parole, and $100,000 fine. Okay, the
I'm
offer I had
old.
was $550, and that was discussed by
I'm old,
high
Suarez.
command. Some high command. I spoke to high command captain about that. That was a ballpark that we went for. So
I'm old, Suarez. You know that there was a lack of wheat plants and only
it
2
doesn't.
seats.
That's the thing I don't think you understand though, Charles. Is it doesn't matter if it's 1 weed plant or 3 or 10. A plant is a plant. If you have all the, if you have that and seeds, it's very clearly proof that you're cultivating, right? That you've grown it.
I don't agree with that. You also have a gun with you, but it doesn't, matter that you will kill me right now, yes? Or should I be afraid of killing?
The point being made is that the plant is obtained.
ESPRESSO, listen, I just want to let you know, you done did it. You're about to meet Mr. Charles and Mr. Costello. They're the new wardens. They're going to show you who's who.
Oh,
right,
boy. All right, thank you for telling me. All
Good
right.
luck to you in prison, Mr. ESPRESSO.
Uh-huh.
Oh, boy, you got Bobby Charles as the warden and Carmine. They're going to give you, oh, man.
Carmine is...
Radio check.
Oh, my God.
Radio check.
Kurwa, Carmine jest naczelnikiem, tak?
102, can I get a 77 at the courthouse, please?
Kurwa mać. Sure.
I'm just waiting for my the pickup to come, okay?
Okay. Can you just let me hear? Yeah, because you are moving me so fast. I will just stand here and wait.
Actually, I could probably take care of you here, if you prefer. But I prefer to take you down to the station. Transport of suspect. Thank you. We're in the garage in the back. Charles, man.
Suarez. You think that the judgment is appropriate? But tell me honestly.
I do think that. I think that's appropriate. Felony, and you gotta remember, right? It's like felony intent to distribute is $10,000, right? So drug trafficking being 3 times worse than intent to distribute, it sounds about right. Back in the day, Charles, drug trafficking used to be a $100,000 fine as a minimum. But it seems like in this case, 30K might be the minimum. I'm not sure, but yeah, it used to be 100,000 back in the day. So same time in jail though as it is back in the day. 3 years in jail, 3 years of parole. All right, Mr. Espresso, I'll be placing you in the vehicle, okay? All right. If you don't mind just taking us to MRPD.
All right.
Thank you, what?
Mr. Windor?
No, it's Charles Espresso.
Yes.
And 2.
Who?
Charles Espresso.
I'm getting a ride from Watt
Charles
right now.
Espresso. Okay. Mr. Espresso, I'll take down the mission.
Hey, I'm getting a transport at MRPD right now.
I'm Charles Espresso and I'm a head of Polish gang. We have a crew of 2 people right now, so be careful on the road, okay? Be fucking careful. Because Denji is in the fucking queue on the 37th place. And if he will be on the server in like 2 hours, he will destroy this city himself. Good, man.
All right. That right here is probably good. All right, Mr. Espresso, I'm helping you out of vehicle, okay?
All right.
Well, Mr. Espresso, I appreciate you showing up to court. And listen, stop trafficking drugs, okay?
I did not. And
You
you
did,
know
though.
about
You had
no.
seeds on you. You had a plant in your possession on the tow
But
truck. You
I
had
did
bags.
not-
You had a drying rack. I mean, you had
I
all
did
this.
not growing. I did not growing.
You did not grow it?
Nope.
Yeah, well,
I was not
You
my-
had all the evidence to prove that you did, though. You had the seed, the plant, and the baggies and the bricks and the drying rack. You know, all indicates that you were growing it.
You know, there are some cases when innocent people are going to jail. And I think we got an example. But, you know, the judge said his judgment. I don't want to fight with it. But I think it's too high. Imagine, Suarez, that you have the same amount of marijuana that I have. And imagine that you are not a police officer and you want to sell it. And imagine that you are selling everything and earning $3,000. Maybe.
Well, are you telling me that you made $3,000 from all this?
No. I'm not telling. I'm saying, like, you can imagine that you are selling the same amount. I mean, the 5 kilos.
I'm confused. What are you trying to say here?
I'm trying to say that the sentence is not appropriate.
Well, I mean, hell, the original. I mean, your lawyers were actually requesting for 5,000 more, so than what the judge gave you. So, in all fairness, you did In all fairness, it was. I think it was an appropriate fine. If I'm being honest, I feel like it's an appropriate fine. At least, I mean, hey, I guess at the end of the day, Charles, it's not my decision. You know, if a judge felt that it was too high or too low or whatever, he would adjust it. But you know, at the end of the day, it wasn't my choice to decide the fine. So.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so the sentence is 3 years of jail and 3 years of parole. That means on today you will be serving your 3 years of parole on the 7th to the 10th, and your time in jail will be from the 3rd to the 6th. Okay. Your fine will be $30,000. I'm gonna go ahead and All right, Mr. Espresso, I'm gonna be sending over the fine, okay? All right.
Okay, Suarez.
All right, and your time in jail.
All right, Suarez.
What are you saying it like that?
What?
You were saying okay, all right. What's your PayPal number, Charles?
5880.
Oh no. What's your PayPal, like today PayPal number, you know? What's your ticket number?
Let me. I forgot. Just give me a while.
I can tell you. Okay, I got you. All right.
All right. I remember. I remember.
Oh, you're good. I got
Yes.
it. I got it. You're all good. I just turn around. I'll get you the cuffs.
All right. So, Suarez, my ticket number was F.U. Suarez.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Real funny, pal. Okay, real funny. All right, man. Well, Mr. Charles, I'm gonna be sending you in here. Again, your sentence is 3 days or 72 hours. After that, you will be on parole from March 7th to March 10th. If for whatever reason you get out on March 7th and you commit a crime and you get arrested, you will be sent back to jail for the remaining 3 years. So just keep that in mind. Do not commit any crime when you're on parole. Okay? You'll be off parole on the 10th.
All right.
All right, man. Mr. Espresso, best of luck to you, okay? Take care.
Goodbye, Suarez.
All right, goodbye.
Rób tata zdjęcia, kurwa. Rób tata zdjęcia.
As long as I'm here, no one can hurt you. Don't wanna lie here, but you can learn to. If I could change the way.
All right. Who's the fucking boss of this prison? Who's the fucking boss of the prison, kurwa? You? Maybe you? Maybe you? Who's the fucking boss of this prison? Oh. It looks that I am. Carmine? Carmine! O, ja mam taski jakieś. Clean cells, clean dirty cells and the showers. Okej, czyli mam taski tutaj. Ty, fajne są te cele. Cleaning supplies. Remember, it's never too late. Even you can be reformed. It's already too late. You created fucking beast. Hej. Słuchaj mnie. Co ty tu robisz? Co ty tu robisz?
Przyszłam do ciebie, Charlie.
Witam w drugim sezonie. Witam w drugim sezonie. Drugi sezon. Charlie Espresso w więzieniu. Sprawdźmy, co to kurwa jest. Co to kurwa jest? To nie Netflix, nie trzeba 2 lat czekać. Tak będę wyglądał, jak wyjdę. O, zobacz, workout. Kitchen, electrical, eat. Zobacz. I co? Mogę tutaj ten? Workout? Workout and build some strength. Może na siłowni... Ty, poczekaj. Chciałem jeszcze podziękować za pierwszy sezon na przykład Maninkowi. Maniek Maniumuci Maniak. Dziękuję serdecznie za 10 miesięcy. Dziękuję również bardzo serdecznie Gaco, Shadi Bad Torej, dziękuję serdecznie Skubi, dziękuję Piterku, dziękuję Michalczyk, dziękuję Pina Colada, dziękuję Ciastka 999 za 6 miesięcy, dziękuję Szudor bardzo serdecznie, dziękuję serdecznie Czaru Smyk, dziękuję bardzo za subika Primika, dzięki jeden jeszcze raz za Rajdzika, dziękuję serdecznie Bogusz, dziękuję serdecznie Zdezelowany, dziękuję Matthew, dziękuję Niarpstorm, dziękuję Echarizmo, dziękuję Saiter, dziękuję Szymski, dziękuję Days, dziękuję David Kubim, to już 27 miesięcy razem, piękny wynik. Boadopczyciel Inauriuso Dactyl, dziękuję serdecznie Deku Brodaty, właśnie zdane, dzięki za 9 miesięcy razem. Michael Feller, dziękuję Mawisku za 23 miesiące, Crackhead, Koniowaty, Biniu, do tego jeszcze Seku, Plaster Miodu, do tego Kesonat, dziękuję serdecznie Tivek za 9 miesięcy, Wenkowy za 10, za 14 Derens, Pixa również 23 miesiące, Spike TV 22 miesiące, All 92, 9 miesięcy. Dziękuję serdecznie Dave, dziękuję Great Hot, dziękuję Przetoka Odbycia, dziękuję ślicznie End Effect, dziękuję bardzo Szeparcik Kruku również za subskrypcję, Denio, Patreon Fizu, do tego jeszcze dorzucił 23 miesiąc Anowis, dziękuję Hehe Sud, dziękuję Banan Rage i dziękuję Hubercik za Prima w tej chwili. Kurwa, nie ćwiczę. Ćwiczę czy nie ćwiczę, kurwa? Dobra, ćwiczę. Jak wyjdę, to kurwa będę bestią. Ale w sumie taka prawda, że jeżeli został tylko Denji na straży boju, to można powiedzieć, że we dwójkę dysponujemy całkiem niezłym, kurwa, jak na dwuosobowy skład polskiego gangu tematem, nie? Jeżeli chodzi o te wszystkie komputery, które chłopaki zebrali i tak dalej, nie? Więc, że tak powiem, jest podstawa, nie? Jest podstawa. To się tam cały czas codziennie robi, nie? Więc jedna osoba musiałaby, nie wiem, chyba za 2 lata na NoPixelu spędzić, żeby tyle mieć. Jesteś pierwszą osobą w więzieniu w tym sezonie NoPixela. Słuchaj, jak za granicą Heimer, to tylko bić rekordy. Tak na marginesie, uważasz, że taki wyrok jest okej w porównaniu do twojego złego brata bliźniaka, który ciągle dźga ludzi na ulicy nożem, jest wolny? Szczerze, wydaje mi się, że ta kwestia narkotyków nie została jeszcze dobrze dopracowana. W sensie takim, że jeżeli dostajesz $3 za porcję, masz kursy, w których sprzedajesz po 60-80 bagów. Wydaje mi się, że waga nie jest odpowiednia, nie? Że masz 25 torebek, które sprzedajesz, a sprzedajesz tak jakby pół kilo. Więc wydaje mi się, że dużo jest jeszcze tutaj do poprawy, ale nie zamierzam narzekać. No, wyrok jest jaki jest. No, czy słuszny, czy niesłuszny, to już, że tak powiem, innym oceniać. Popełniłem zbrodnię, dostałem karę, no i tyle. Jest zbrodnia, jest i kara, no ale myślę, że ten system powinien troszeczkę zostać zreformowany, bo nie zarabiasz na tym tak praktycznie nic, a dostajesz za to naprawdę olbrzymią karę. Wydaje mi się, że gdybym zanurzował 10 osób, dostałbym mniejszą karę. Gdybym strzelał w centrum miasta, dostałbym mniejszą karę. A mimo wszystko dostałem karę dosyć sporą. $30,000 to jest dosyć sporo. Ale wydaje mi się, że potrzebowali gdzieś tutaj przykładu, może faktycznie przykładu, że będą inni adwokaci się odnosić do tej sprawy. I no wydaje mi się, że wiecie, nie znalazłby tego starego Whitplanta, albo tego Whitplanta bym wyrzucił z traka, to też by było inaczej. Mało tego, byłoby zupełnie inaczej, gdybym faktycznie postąpił tak jak chciałem, czyli poczekał te 24 godziny, prawdopodobnie mieliby wyjebane, bo sędzia odpisał po 4 dniach, ale nie ma co ćwiczyć, po prostu bierzemy to jakim jest. I powiem wam szczerze, spoko opcja, bo nie będę ukrywał, w ostatnim czasie straciłem trochę vibik na NoPixela, ale ta odsiadka i ta sprawa, no fajnie mi się dzisiaj gra, naprawdę fajnie mi się dzisiaj gra. Myślałem, że to będzie smutny obowiązek, żeby tutaj dzisiaj przyjść, że po prostu, żeby zamknąć ten sezon, ale fajnie mi się dzisiaj gra, naprawdę. Może Charlie w więzieniu zaczyta się w poezji Sapkowskiego. Nie zapomnijmy, że Suarez jest spoczeńcem, to kluczowy czynnik. No jest czy nie jest? Wygrał. Charlie szef bloku, no to prawda. Ale Karman jest naczelnikiem, więc tutaj też widzę potencjał jakiś, żebyśmy się gdzieś tam ze sobą napieprzali. Kilka sezonów temu był Hopkins, teraz jest Suarez, tak. Eden gra do 20, a Testree po 20. Myślisz o tym, że no to jest duży problem. To jest duży problem. Czyli powinien zniknąć. Nie oszukujmy się, to koniec tej postaci. Z popiołu wstaje Snake. Iść tam, gdzie jest przód, samym sobą. Do kiedy termin spłaty? Ty poczekaj, czy ja mam jakieś tutaj informacje? Nie mam telefonu, nie mam nic. Mr. Glizzy, dziękuję za 2 miesiące. Dziękuję, Hubercik. Ty, tam ktoś krzyczy.
Espresso, stop running!
Eś. Kurwa, będę biegał! I will run!
Stop running or I will put you into the cell.
I will run, kurwa. Będę ranował. 3 lata. Trzy lata przede mną. Just what you mean. It's a
locked up now. Penitentiary, Illinois, out of town. Death row shit is fucked up now. Jailed down by the government a couple of weeks. Survives, but he needs. Gotta prove that he's innocent, it's hard in the streets. That's why I can't accept defeat. He ain't no hustler, good guy, intelligent, that's why. You know what I'm talking about? He ain't no hustler, good guy, intelligent, that's why. Okay, it's the prison break anthem. Prison break anthem. Just what you need. But it locked up freedom, it's over now. Gotta do what I gotta do, I'm making it happen. It's the prison break anthem. Prison break anthem. Just what you need. But it locked up freedom, it's over now. Gotta do what I gotta do, I'm making it happen. Convicted for murder, first degree. As he praised the Lord, now set me free. I'm on parole now, what you want now? Black, white, any color, let's go now. 2 years, 6 months in jail for 0. 2 years, 6 months in jail for 0. It's the prison break anthem. Prison break anthem. Just what you need. But it locked up freedom, it's over now. Gotta do what I gotta do, I'm making it happen. It's the prison break anthem. Prison break anthem. Just what you need. But it locked up freedom, it's over now. Gotta do what I gotta do, I'm making it happen.
Hey, Naczelnik! Naczelnik! Can I use the phone?
Yeah, sure, you can use it.
Alright, thanks. ESPRESSO?
Cappuccino, cappuccino here, OG. Siema morda, kurwa! Wylądowałem przed chwilą! Skurwysyny mnie na bramkach trzypali 2 godziny, na chacie jestem, pod 109 trzymam, kurwa, kiełbasy smażę, w dupę zajebana, ty, gdzie ty jesteś?
W więzieniu jestem. Zamknęli mnie, kurwa. Mam nadzieję, Logan, że mnie odbijesz, kurwa.
Czy kurwa, co tam jakiegoś Brazala masz obok siebie, kurwa? Nikt się nie skapnie, że z Polski jesteśmy. Nie świruj, kurwa, Charlie. Morda moja, odzywaj się do mnie normalnie, ty. Gdzie ty, kurwa, jesteś?
No w więzieniu, mówię ci, Logan. Kurwa, w więzieniu, daj spokój, kurwa. Czapnęli nas na ten, kurwa, pierdolony weed, który robiliśmy od kilku miesięcy, no. Przyjedziesz po mnie?
Apartament, so give me 2 minutes and I, kurwa, here, nie?
No i 10 minut, kurwa, no i widzimy się, cześć. Dobra, przyjedzie mnie odebrać. Ale jeżeli musi mnie odebrać, to może w takim razie ucieknę z więzienia. Może ucieknę z więzienia. Może mi się uda. Nazywam się Charlie Espresso. Skazali mnie na śmierć. Za posiadanie 5 kg marihuany o łącznej wartości 1234 zł i 12 groszy dostałem karę 30 000 dolarów i pozbawienie wolności na całe życie. A za chwilę zamierzam stąd spierdolić. Naczelnik o tej godzinie powinien już spać. Muszę się zakraść. Okej, naczelnik nie widzi.
Yeah, it seems to be clear here today, you know? I think you can take a nap.
O, będzie brał bziemkę. Tak się składa, że plan więzienia Bolingbroke wytatuowałem sobie na penisie już 20 lat temu. Fakt, nie jest to może duży tatuaż, ale da się tam odszukać drogę ucieczki. Za drzwiami ktoś jest.
Yes, you know, I counted all the prisoners, and the count is equal. Right now, they're all sleeping. The cells are closed, so I think we can go to sleep. We can go to sleep or for a little walk.
All right, I cannot wait to take you somewhere.
Dobra, naczelnicy będą się jebać. Dosypanie im w trakcie obiadu troszeczkę lubczyku i zawieszenie, kurwa, tej jemiały pomogło. Dzięki, prezydent Chris. Dzięki serdeczne. Ale teraz muszę zacząć moją wielką ucieczkę. O kurwa! Te schody nie działają!
To all the prisoners! To all the prisoners! I see one person missing on the cell 302.
Kurwa, już wiedzą. Trzeba przyspieszyć. Ah! Ah! Muszę tak poleżeć dokładnie 3 minuty i 13 sekund. Za chwilę... Ale światło oślepi mnie. Będą mnie szukać jeszcze przez chwilę, ale nie znajdą. Charlie, jesteś pewien, że ci się uda? Oczywiście. Kiedyś mi się uda. Wiesz, myślę o tym i wydaje mi się, że kurwa jutro powinienem uciec. Ale wiesz co? Że ci dali kurwa 30 kapci? No. Ale ten towar był wart 1000 zł. Kurwa, w przeliczeniu na polskie to będzie $250. Pierdolisz, kurwa. Jeden. Już kurwa zapomniałem jaka polska waluta jest piękna. A ty? Miałeś tam jakiegoś kolegę na zewnątrz, kiedy byłeś wolny? Ja poszedłem siedzieć, kurwa, za masturbację w miejscu publicznym i to... I to w domu publicznym, kurwa. Sędziował mnie ten sam sędzia, co ciebie. Słuchaj, mój powiedział, że heroina i twarde narkotyki są tak samo mocne jak marihuana. Tak, no ten gościu jest naprawdę dziwnym sędzią. Kiedy stąd wyjdę, już nie będę tym samym człowiekiem. Mam nadzieję, że stąd kiedyś ucieknę. Niedługo będę podejmował próbę. Ale chciałbym, żebyś wiedział, że cię bardzo lubię. Wiem. Tęsknię za Loganem Cappuccino. Kiedyś razem sadziliśmy weed i było wszystko pięknie, kurwa. Musiał się ten Suarez dopierdolić i mi wjebać, kurwa, w pasiak na 30 lat. A ty powiedz mi, jak sprzedawałeś też weed, bo też sprzedawałeś te... Ile tak mniej więcej średnia dniówka? 20 zł. I to w PaySafeCardzie. Płacone z góry od jednego, kurwa, z bossów mafii. Raz w tygodniu, żeby nie było, że to dniówka. Ogólnie jest ciężko, kurwa, stary. W tym więzieniu, no, zostaniemy do końca życia. Kurwa. Pora się zbierać. Ja spierdalam. Jeden z naczelników powiedział, że przymknie oko na moją ucieczkę. Załadowałem mu kartę do Orange za 30 zł. Tym samym dokupując również 2 GB internetu. Mam nadzieję, że to wystarczy, żeby stąd uciec. Ale musimy poczekać jeszcze, aż Billy the Bruce pójdzie na malutką przerwę. Nie przypomnę sobie, jak często dochodziło do sytuacji, kiedy praktycznie mnie już wypuszczali. Proszę usiąść, panie Espresso. Dobra, panie Espresso, sytuacja wygląda tak, że popełnił pan bardzo duże wykroczenie, miał pan 5 kg zioła. Czy ma pan coś na usprawiedliwienie? Wiesz co? Słuchaj, pomyślę. Czy nie jestem zrehabilitowany. Poczekaj chwilę. Jeszcze raz ta scena. Siadaj, panie Espresso. Panie Espresso, czy czuje się pan zrehabilitowany? Czy czuje się zrehabilitowany? Wpierdoliliście mnie w pasiak za 5 kg weedu. Tak, proszę pana, ale wszystkie wyroki wskazują, że pan je manufakturował. Co ty pierdolisz? Co ty pierdolisz? Mówiłem ci, że ktoś inny sadził, a ja tylko miałem i handlowałem. Mówiłem to wielokrotnie. Sędzia porównał to przestępstwo do posiadania heroiny. Czy ty wiesz, co to znaczy heroina? Nie wiem. No właśnie, kurwa. A brałeś kiedyś koks? Młody gościu w garniturku, kurwa, po studiach? Brałeś kiedyś koks? A może morfinę? A może byłeś na dnie i musiałeś to robić? I ci sędzia wpierdolił 30 i porównał to do twardych narkotyków. Znalazł u ciebie w kieszeni 2 ziarenka i powiedział, że sadziłeś, kurwa, plantację. U mnie tak było. Znalazł, kurwa, weed planta starego odrogana, kurwa, w Tołtraku, którego dostałem 3 miesiące temu i powiedział, że to świeża roślinka. Może tak miałeś na tym studiach. No i co? Teraz milczysz? Twój kodeks ci nic nie mówi. Zostałem tu wjebany przez pomyłkę wymiaru sprawiedliwości.
Panie Espresso, zostało panu jeszcze 25 lat.
Pierdolę. Tak to wyglądało. A teraz znowu czas na ucieczkę. Okej. Już jestem blisko. Już jestem blisko. Już jestem blisko. O. Aha.
Alright, 10-4, I think Charlie ESPRESSO escaped the prison. I don't see him in the cell. We got a huge problem right now.
Yeah, I don't see him too, yeah. The kitchen master said that he was last seen like an hour ago.
Pierdolcie się! Pierdolcie się! Pierdolcie się! Spierdalam stąd! Po prostu stąd uciekam! Po prostu stąd uciekam! Last jump. Last fucking jump. Czasem przychodzi moment, że musisz wykonać skok wiary. Czasem musisz zrobić ten jeden krok. Czasem przychodzi moment na tak zwany leap of faith. I ja zamierzam go zaraz wykonać. Moi drodzy, jeżeli bym tego skoku nie przeżył, będziecie o tym wiedzieć. Ale nie dam się zatrzymać. Nie za 30 000 dolarów. Charlie Espresso żegna się z więzieniem i wyjdzie Snake. Snake. Za chwilę będę za murami tego więzienia. Za chwilę podjedzie tutaj też po mnie transport. Poproszę jeden ulgowy. Wolność. Wracam do Polski. Wracam do Polski. Na plażę do Władysławowa. Tam, gdzie to się wszystko zaczęło. Mr. Espresso! Witaj, doktorze Andy. Mr. Espresso! UFO nas atakuje. Dobra, doktorze Andy, skończ pierdolić. Chodź tutaj. Koniec. In memory of Logan Cappuccino and Charlie Espresso. Kurwa! No nie! To był tylko pierdolony sen.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Dałeś kurwa ciała! Miałeś mi obronić! Miałeś mi obronić przed tym pierdolonym sędzią, Monroe! Miałeś mi obronić. Miałem wyjść kurwa z twarzą. Ale przecież kurwa, to ty powiedziałeś, że miałeś to. Miałem kurwa, ale nie było to moje! To nie ja sadziłem, Logan Cappuccino sadził, wiesz o tym dobrze. Kurwa, wjebali mnie za wszystko. Za cały polski gang, kurwa. I to pierwszy, żeby dać przykład, kurwa. Żeby dać przykład. A XQ lata, kurwa, i napierdala policjantów i nic za to nie siedzi. A właśnie. Kurwa. To wszystko. Tak, to Adam Adamczyk. To on cię tu wpierdolił. Chcieli przejąć polski gang i latać razem z GQC. Tylko problem jest tak, bo Lałek jest na permie. Ale wszystko było po to, żeby cię wyjebać. Jak to? Jak to? No tak to, kurwa. Wielki szefie polskiego gangu. To wszystko było ukartowane, sędzia przekupiony przez Adamczyka. Za niemieckie marki. Co? Tak. No, będziesz siedział tu do końca życia. Sąd nie przyjmie twojego odwołania. O kurwa. Trzymaj się! Nawet wcale nie jestem adwokatem. Obserwowałem cię. Za każdym razem. Byłem tam. Widziałem. Nawet sam kupowałem od ciebie dragi starcze. To nie może być prawda! Pieprzony Adam Adamczyk. Czas się, kochani, pożegnać. Zostałem zamknięty na wiele lat do więzienia i prawda jest taka, że prędko stąd nie wyjdę. Wspominam i pamiętam o tych wszystkich wspólnie spędzonych chwilach. O tych godzinach na tą traku. O tym, jak próbowaliśmy rozwiązać zagadkę pieprzonego weedu. Jak szukaliśmy szacunku u żula. O tych wszystkich naprawionych samochodach. Odholowanych. Naprawionych oponach. O tym, jak zesrałem się w Senior Bansie. O tym, jak razem z Kalitą Dab sprzedawaliśmy weed. O tym, jak uczyliśmy patara polskiego. To był piękny sezon. Nie zapomnę go nigdy. I mam nadzieję, że wy też będziecie mieli go w pamięci. Mam nadzieję, że wszystkie te momenty, kiedy uśmiechaliście się, zostaną z wami. Chciałem wam podziękować. Długie lata odsiadki zmieniły Charlie'ego Espresso. Starszy, miły pan już nigdy nie wrócił do siebie. Chociaż od czasu do czasu na twarzy tego smutnego starca pojawiał się uśmiech. To był moment, w którym przypominał sobie o wszystkich wspólnie spędzonych chwilach. Ale niestety Charlie'ego już nie ma. Kto w takim razie kryje się za postacią starszego siwego pana? O tym dowiemy się w następnym odcinku. To jeszcze kurwa nie koniec.